Here, how you doing, bud? Hope you're having a good time. All right, Lee, how you doing, buddy? Drake, nice to see you. Guitar Slinger, 2 nights in a row. This is awesome. Sid the Magician, what's happening, man? Welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Pandora, welcome to SOR Chat. Phil Minervito, thank you for joining us. And Wallet Moth, thank you so much for kicking off that super chat tonight. Really do appreciate your support of SOR. The super chat is a great way to support what we do on a nightly basis, so thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see who else we got here as we are running out of time. There's my favorite psychic, Nikki, out of Seattle. And who else? Who's your geode? What's happening? Thanks for coming on in. And there's Crazy Smith. Smith, nice to have you in our chat room. Welcome. And who else do we have here? Stephen Bonag. Hold on, the chat room jumped on me. Yeah, Bonang, how you doing? Welcome from Halifax. All right, we got 20 seconds. Can we make this happen? Can we get this done? Jay Beasley, welcome to the chat room. And gorgeous Jenny, nice to see you. Cecil, good to have you back, buddy. Smithy, good to see you. Truth Entertainment, welcome back. Oracles, you're looking lovely tonight. The gorgeous Laura Elizabeth is here, and that's where we're going to stop it. Let's get our horns up because here comes our man Bumblefoot. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including Rockin' Out Bumblefoot. Check out our swag and read up on Shirky Poo's Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Joe Diamond is back. He has blown the minds of millions of people through his TV and radio appearances. He's an expert on all things strange and mysterious. Whether you want an expert to talk about history of superstitions for Halloween, this is our guy. And I'm sure he's going to bring some tricks of the trade with him. It's all about Halloween night tonight, and this is why we wanted to bring Joe in to hang on out with us and be one of us, which is a Halloween fanatic. Mr. Joe Diamond, it is always a pleasure to have you back on Spaced Out Radio. How you doing, man?
Doing great. It's a pleasure to be back here. I've been looking forward to this. I can't tell you how excited I was last week when I was looking at my calendar. And, this time of year gets crazy for a lot of folks like us who are into the spooky season. And when I saw this on the calendar, I got even extra excited. I was like, oh yeah, that's coming up. So this is going to be a blast tonight.
You are a fan favorite, but for our radio people, they can't see this, but on our YouTube and Twitch channels, you seem to have grown some horns.
Yeah, I'm in costume. I have some horns. I decided it's the Halloween episode, so I figured I should come in costume. So it's pretty obvious who I am. I am Jeff Bezos.
I am dressed up as Jerry Garcia tonight. That is what I'm doing.
Perfect.
So what's new? I mean, we're doing a bunch of virtual shows because the COVID pandemic really had you locked down. And I actually took in one of your shows, and it was very, very impressive with me and my boy.
And saw one of the last shows. I did like a run of shows, kind of like a theatrical run weekly, and I've taken a break. I'm doing another one on Halloween night, and I've been doing a lot of private ones for private events, corporations, that kind of thing. But it's, those you got to make sure to, you don't want to alienate anybody. You don't want to get too weird. But in the Halloween virtual show, it's going to get weird.
What is the fascination that people have with magic?
Oh man, I mean, just from the capital M spelt with a K, magic. I mean, everything. I mean, we live fairly, mundane lives, and magic points to a not so mundane life. We live in the middle of a capital M mystery, and that's, magic, religion, science, and art all attempt to confront or box that mystery, depending on how it goes. And I think performance magic or mentalism or psychic entertainment, all those labels that have been put on my art form, I think are all about reminding us of that feeling that we can have. And, you can't really create a feeling of magic or the paranormal on cue, but in my art form, I try to do that.
How long have you been doing this, and why did you decide to make this a career?
I never thought about doing anything else for a career. I'll be totally honest. Well, let me back up a little bit there. Growing up, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster, and then realized that was a movie. I mean, yes, paranormal investigator, sure, but I wanted the proton pack. That was a deal breaker for me. And I just wanted to slide down the pole. My dad built me a tree house, and I was like, it has to have a pole like the Ghostbusters. And so I got my pole sliding out of my system. And I liked movies. I wrote like weird stories growing up. I was one of those weird kids in the 90s who watched Nick at Night. So I watched old Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. And I think I was drawn to, and I was, of course, into the paranormal. I read books on UFOs, crop circles, meditation, fortune telling, telepathy, all that stuff. The great thing about those books is they have big, long words. So by the time I got to second grade, I had a 12th grade reading level, which sounds impressive, but I still have a 12th grade reading level. I peaked early. And so when I got interested in like most kids, I got a magic set and I started reading about like how to like read minds for real and reading palms and all this other stuff. And I didn't think about it at the time, but as I was doing all of that, I think it was a way to make those TV shows and movies and books I was reading real, or at least create that feeling in my reality rather than write about it or make a movie about it, if that makes sense.
Very true, and that makes a lot of sense. But what's the enjoyment you get from entertaining people, not only with your mystique, but the magic and the paranormal side of you?
Yeah, it's especially this last year. I can't think of a better metaphor for staying connected across long distances than mind reading, magic, ritual, all these things I incorporate in my virtual shows. There are some things I do, like, yes, it's a card trick that everyone follows along with, but I've added some ritualistic elements to it to the point where I get everyone together to say I give myself permission to be powerful. And that's weird to say after the last 2 years, like I enjoy that. I enjoy those moments that you can't get from seeing a movie or a play. I worked really hard for the last few years to give people that experience live and in person. But doing it virtually, I mean, we get to connect. I mean, Dave, you and we've become friends over the last year.
Yes,
we would have never. We've got a lot of stuff in common. We are into all this stuff. And if just 10 years earlier, 20 years earlier, we would have passed like ships in the night, and we would have never been able to learn from each other and connect with each other. And I think that's what people really, were hungry for during the pandemic. They were hungry for that connection. And yes, it is different from seeing a live show, of course. The thing I say, not to get too crude here, but yes, intercourse with a loved one is the best, most fulfilling form of physical pleasure, but it doesn't stop pornography from being a multi-billion-dollar business. No one looks at it and goes, well, wait a second, you can't. I am trying to, I'm being a little facetious there, but at the same time, we genuinely can connect from these great distances. And when people are in my virtual shows, I can tell they're people who are into this stuff. They're intrigued by it. They may be don't have a lot of opportunities to experience it, maybe in their area, maybe in their country. We were talking before, I had the opportunity to talk with some podcast hosts in India this last year. And yeah, they got to, experience what I do, and I got to, do some stuff for them without, any, without having either of us have to buy a couple $1,000 plane ticket and fly to the other side of the country. And I think that's pretty profound.
Outside of magic, you have a very big love of the paranormal and supernatural. Mm-hmm. Where did this come from?
Again, I loved the unknown, and I think that my love for each of them always was very, very deep. We talked a little bit about this the first time I was on, so I don't mean to brush this over for first-time listeners for this, but at the same time, I don't want to retread everything. But I think magic and the paranormal have always had a very strange history and entanglement with each other throughout the past. Everything from Harry Houdini and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle being friendly enemies to the discovery of witchcraft being the first book published in the English language on magic, and the fact that it had ritualistic magic in it, but also had magic tricks. And King James wanted it burned because he didn't want word getting out that some of this witchcraft stuff wasn't work of the devil. So we could talk about that for a whole 2 hours and tick off a lot of people I went to Christian school with for 12 years. And I think that's the other thing too. I went to a Baptist school in the Midwest in Illinois, and I was really into this stuff, and a lot of family members and church members all were saying, oh, be careful, you don't want to let Satan use that as an in. And that just made me want to do it more. And again, I was interested. I read War of the Worlds and listened to the Orson Welles broadcast of War of the Worlds, which, fun fact, Orson Welles was born in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and grew up in Woodstock, Illinois. And I was born in Woodstock, Illinois, and I now live in Kenosha, Wisconsin, just outside of Kenosha, Wisconsin. And so I've always felt a kinship, a kindred spirit with Orson Welles. And yeah, so I loved the idea of doing a radio broadcast where aliens were coming. I also love the idea of this being a hoax. And then if you read, there's a great book called Broadcast Hysteria, which is about that, where even the outcry of people who believed it wasn't a hoax was in and of itself a hoax. And it goes into, how that's evolved into fake news today and everything else. And it's a very fascinating read. But yeah, I love the idea of, things that seem simple aren't always as simple as they appear. I love, what is out there in the dark? How do we combat with that? Do we light a fire and create fire? Science? Do we tell each other stories? Art? And tell ghost stories about what's in the darkness? Or do we try to confront it and bring in the unknown? And that's what magic is. So I think it's always been interconnected. And as a result, yes, my profession is an entertainer who specializes in, mind reading, fortune telling, that kind of stuff. But as an amateur paranormal, enthusiast, I find it all just endlessly fascinating. I was that kid who got all those Mysteries of the Unknown books from the library growing up, with all those crazy illustrations and pictures in them. And again, because I think maybe because of, religion is about, at least the way I interpreted it growing up, it was about rules. It was about, hey, these are the rules, you have to follow them. And this is an art form that breaks the rules of nature, seemingly. And sometimes it actually does. And I felt I felt like I had to do it. The only other career I've had, I hosted a radio show, which was a paranormal talk show, and I've written books for the magic and mentalism and psychic entertainer industry. I wrote a monthly column for a magazine called Vibrations, which is the magazine for the Psychic Entertainers Association. And, I've done lots of aspects of it, but this has been my full-time job. The only other job I did where people paid me was my dad's boat dock company when I was like 14. I worked for him for like 3 or 4 weekends, and he fired me. It was mutual. He was like, "Do you like doing this?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Good, because you stink at it." And he paid me, and he didn't bring me back on the job. And that was the end of that. And he really enjoys it now. He's always the one to like laugh extra hard at shows and be extra excited about it now.
Very cool.
But yeah, so I think that's mostly where it comes from.
Do you have a favorite personal ghost story?
What, like personal as in one that's happened to me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. So I normally do weekly shows at the Dole Mansion in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And I was in there. I'm going to log out of the chat on my phone for just a moment because I'm going to show this to you and audio listeners. What I'll do in the next 24 hours or so. It's actually on my website too. Actually, I think that would be the easiest thing to do is just give you the link to that. If you just go to joediamondlive.com. But I was in there just taking a bunch of photos for my Instagram. This was back in 2015, and I'm going to hold this up to the screen. There was this shadow figure in front of one of the banisters that I didn't notice until I was swiping through the photos later. And that is in the middle of a spiral staircase, which has divots carved into the walls because when Franciscan monks were there, they used to have funerals on the 3rd floor. And they would carry the coffin up and pivot it up the spiral staircase, like a very dark episode of Friends. Pivot, pivot, pivot. And Dave, you've read folklore. What do they all say? Don't carry a coffin upstairs, especially 3 flights of them, especially a spiral staircase. So that is the biggest, you got it pulled up. Yeah, just go to, I think, in the media, the tab up there. And then, is the Dole Mansion haunted? That is where it will pull up. And if you scroll down, there's the photo nice and big there as well. And you can zoom in. And this was taken on my phone. I did not edit it. I did not, digitally alter it. We tried to recreate this by having different people stand in different areas, and it just didn't show up. Again, for audio listeners, you can go to joediamondlive.com/is the Dole haunted, all one word, to look at the photo we're looking at right now.
Well,
and then that's a photo of the Dole Mansion underneath as well.
Beautiful mansion.
Oh, what was that?
Beautiful mansion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. They just redid some of those windows. They redid some of the floors on the 1st floor. One other fun fact about the mansion, this is on my Instagram. I shared it a couple days ago. So it was built in 1864 by Charles Dole. Everyone asks if he was the Dole pineapple guy. He wasn't. He was a wheat distributor. But he built the house with all these different woods from all over the world. And there's this really dark redwood that's in the floor, on the ground floor of the mansion. Well, when a carpenter was refurbishing it, he got a splinter and got really, really sick. And it turned out that wood was imported from Africa, and it's what some of the natives used to make poison darts.
Oh, my.
It's that very same wood. So, when they've retreated the floors and everything, they've had to wear gloves and everything. So, the floors will literally kill you. So if that's not a haunted mansion, I don't know what is.
You do not walk barefoot on that one.
No, do not. There was a woman on one of my flashlight tours who wanted to, and I was like, no, I would prefer not. I don't want that to happen. I told her about it. She's like, oh, good, heads up. Because she was worried about grounding herself, and she was able to. And I've taken people through there. There's actually a psychic medium who just moved in, Lauren Purcell, who's awesome. You should meet her. She's really great. And she's, like me, the moment we saw that building, we were just like drawn to it. We had to be there. And yeah, I also just recently posted on Instagram, which is the same as my website, at Joe Diamond Live. I took a photo of the Dole Mansion recently, and like it got like all blurry and weird, and people were like, "Oh, your hand shook," but I was standing perfectly still, and I posted the photo. I did, on the iPhone where you like tap and it takes multiple photos. It's a split-second difference between the two photos, like less than a split-second difference. So even if my hand did shake in that split second, what shook my hand, I don't know. There's lots of, no one died there tragically. The only death on property was due to a hunting accident. Charles Dole's son died about 2.5 acres east of the property due to a hunting accident. So I think the reason there's so much activity there is, again, taking the coffins up to the third floor, but also a lot of different historical figures have been there. Lou Ringling of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey fame bought the property shortly after her husband Al passed away. In fact, the street just north of that building is Ringling Road, named after her. And she extended the building. Like first it was the Dole Mansion, and then she extended it. So that house is actually technically two buildings that are so big they're actually connected. And when she stayed there, some of the circus workers stayed there. Some of the animals stayed on the property. There's record of like camels hanging out on the front lawn. Again, it was a church for a number of years. So if you've got nearly 200 years of history with, everything from businessmen, lawyers, religious folk, Franciscan monks, carny folk, artists, it's going to hold on to some of that vibe for sure. Every single medium who's come in there who's worth their salt has all said the same thing. Some people get uneasy, and I think those are people who are bringing their own stuff, which we can talk about. But everyone who like genuinely does this stuff and works in this stuff says yes. Whatever's here is happy that there's more people. It is not evil. It just wants more people coming in.
Do you enjoy the paranormal? Like, is it a fascination for you, or is it just a job right now? Like a fun job?
Oh, it's still fascinating. Like, yes, I've incorporated, like I wouldn't incorporate into my job if I didn't love it. I've often said this too. Like there are lots of, just for example, just for a very, very quick example, there are other forms of magic. There's card magic, there's coin magic, and mentalism, magic of the mind, psychic entertainment, all that. Again, it's the kind that I love the most because it allows me to create that feeling on command. If I could do that with a coin trick, you'd be seeing me pull coins out of kids' ears. But you can't. So, or at least I haven't seen it. I'm sure someone at some points in history has done it, and it's great. But for me, and the way I work as an artist, absolutely. And I like the other thing too. There's a lot of magic and a lot of magicians whose attitudes are, "I know something you don't." And the thing with the paranormal is like, yes, I'm fascinated with it. Yes, I've done my research, but no one's an expert. Like, when we get into that unknown stuff, we're all on the same level, and I'm just a tour guide through it. It's a way for me to show, like, look, it's not about me and how cool I am. It's about, hey, look how amazing our world is and what we can do together. So I think, yes, from that standpoint, I'm just a big old, paranormal nerd, but also I think it's a good middle ground with people because it allows us, again, to connect.
Here's what I'm thinking tonight. And I don't usually do this, Joe.
Oh.
But I'm thinking that what we should do is, if people are in our YouTube chat room tonight, we should post a link to the show. And that way, because I know you're going to get into a number of things tonight with us. Mm-hmm. I think, with your magic and your mind reading and everything like that, I think we should bring some people on.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll tell you what, if someone has a deck of cards that's willing to come on, or if you just want to listen along, you can grab a deck of cards as well. We can do something. With that. If you don't have a deck of cards, that's fine. We can bring some of those folks on as well. But yeah, let's bring some people on because let's give them a taste of what this is all about.
Yes, because the last time you freaked the daylights out of me.
Yes,
I almost sweared on the air because of you. And, I'm sure that's going to happen again tonight. Joe Diamond is here, everyone. JoeDiamondLive.com is his website. Magician, paranormal investigator, paranormal tour guide. He is the one, the only Joe Diamond. And we are going to bring some people on in a little bit here. And we're going to get into it. Let's have some fun tonight. Paranormal magic. Hey, it's Halloween. 'Tis the season for a few spells. Let's get to it right after this on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear, buddy.
Sweet.
When do you want?
What I'll do as well is
when do you want to bring people on?
We can do it in the next segment. I've got something that everyone can follow along with at home on the podcast as well.
All right.
So they don't even need to come live. So I can do something like that, and then they can replay it back, and we can do some of that stuff.
Lester Taylor, welcome to our chat room. Hey, Flippity. I am going to put the link in here. I am looking for 2 people. Do we want 2 or do we want 3?
Let's do 2 people for right now.
Right.
Real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out. Hi to Sid the Magician. Hi, he's a bud from the West Coast.
Nice.
But I do know him, so I don't want you to pick him and be like, oh, you picked someone who you know. So pick people I don't know. And Sid's going to be in the show on Halloween night too, so he'll have a chance then as well. So that's just the only heads up for that.
All right. Well, I put a link in there. The first 2 people who connect to that link, you have to have good internet though, okay? You got to have good internet, and you got to remember there's no swearing. First 2 people to hook up to that link that I put in the chat room, hook up, and we're going to play along here with Joe when we come back on the show. So come on back. Hey, Peppa, how you doing? Good to see you. Flippity, nice to have you back. Come on, don't all jump at once. Gosh, somebody else gives you open lines or something like this. You guys are all there. I open up the lines, and everybody, no, I don't want to talk.
Everyone's worried I'm going to tell them all their deep, dark secrets. I promise I won't. All
right. There's Wagon Breath.
We got someone.
Yes, there's Wagon Breath. Breadth. Do you want to turn your camera on or no, Wagon? Oh, and there's Sunny. Okay, we got them all.
Sweet.
Hey, Wagon Breath, can you hear us? Okay, you're in. SJ, nice to see you. All right, Wagon Breath, can you say hello to me?
Hello to you.
You are breaking up a little bit, my dear.
Let me get my mic on. Hold on.
All right.
Okay.
She needs to get to a better cell phone area, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Julie says we all watch Naked from Bed, so that's why they're not coming on.
Maybe the host is too. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Sonny, how you doing, Sonny?
Good. You hear me?
Yeah. Hold on one second, Sonny. Wagon Breath, are you on Wi-Fi right now? Oh, she disconnected.
Oop.
So we got Sonny, and he's from Paranormal Chop Shop. He's a good guy.
Sweet.
Yes.
Did I hear a deck of cards, Sonny?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Are you talking a deck of cards or tarot deck?
What kind of deck do you got, Sonny?
It's just a deck of cards from the Rio in Vegas.
Oh, cool. Oh, sweet.
All right. Let's test out Wagon Breath here.
Shuffle them up. We'll use them when we come back from the break.
Wagon, are you there? Can you hear us?
I'm here. Yep.
Now you're sounding beautifully. Are you going to turn your camera on or no?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Bonjour, Jean-Paul. How are you? Steve Franchise, what's going on? Vanner Smith, welcome back. Lester Taylor, I'm too ugly for YouTube. Last time I tried it, it went down for 2 hours. Hey, man, I got a face for radio too. So, by God, if Sonny can be on camera and not break it, I mean, that is a feat that all of us could dream of. I love your shop.
Oh, man. Our shows, it's fun,
so
babe.
cool.
I know it is.
We're learning watching you. When we grow up, we're going to be just like you.
You just got to make sure that Lou keeps his lip blade.
That's right.
A young boy went to a famous magician and said, "Sir, when I grow up, I want to be a famous magician." And he said, "Sonny, you can't do both." And your name is Sonny, so it works out. It's kismet. It's meant to
Yeah, that's right. I'm no good with magician stuff. I'm not good at magic, so
All right, we
I'll
got
let you amaze me.
We'll,
We got about 1
give it a
minute.
shot. We'll see how it goes.
Hi,
All
the
right.
Quick. Good to see you. Oh, there she is.
All
Look,
right.
look how lovely she is. There she is. All right.
Got some cards.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet. Oh, even better. Even better.
I'm the only one
Same
without
thing. Same thing as Sonny. Wagon breath. Just shuffle them up. We'll do some fun stuff with each of you, but we'll definitely use the cards with one of you. So we'll go with that.
All right, we got about 30 seconds. Big thank you
Perfect.
to Wallet Moth, Smithy, and Chris for the amazing super chats. Remember, the super chat is a great way to support what we do here on a nightly basis. Hi, Advocate for Peace. How you doing? And big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. 416 Bitcoin, good to see you. And all the veterans out there tuning us in, we love you. You always have a safe place here on Spaced Out Radio in our chat room. BBD Warrior, good to see you. All right, here we go, everyone. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot. Check out our swag. Shirky Poo has the news wire updated. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on live tonight with JoeDiamondLive.com. Joe Diamond, magician, paranormal aficionado. I never get to use the word aficionado very much on this show, but I'm dropping it tonight, and we are glad to have him here as he has taken time from his tours to join us for this Halloween special. And we have a couple of guests from our YouTube audience. We have Sonny, and we have Wagon Breath. I can never say that word.
Hey, guys.
And Joe is going to take over. He's going to be doing some tricks
All
with
right.
these guys. So for the radio fans, Joe is going to describe everything that you
Yes.
won't be seeing. But if you want
Yes.
to check it on out on the archives, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Hit that subscribe button. Cheap plug, I know, but this is what we're going to do. All right, Joe, go ahead.
All right. And how about this, Dave? How about we'll do something live right now, but then for the radio-only listeners and the YouTube listeners, we'll do something with everyone. So if you get a deck of cards, it can be tarot cards, Uno cards, even no cards or business cards. You don't need a full deck. You only need 10 of them. After we do this stuff live with Sonny and Wagon Breath, we'll do something. Even if someone listens to the podcast later, they'll be able to follow along with. So that way everyone is involved and that no one will feel left out. So first of all, I've been having Sonny and Wagon Breath each shuffle their cards. Could each of you spread your cards out to your camera? Just I want to make sure that we'll be able to see them all right once we're doing that. Okay, yeah. Let's go with Sonny for right now. Wagon Breath, keep shuffling your cards. Wagon Breath, just hold your cards like this for me if you don't mind. Okay. Wagon Breath will come back to you in just a moment. You just hold on to your cards. Sonny, you hold on to your cards. And actually, we're going to spread our cards out, and each of us are going to think of a card, okay? So give your cards a cut, and I'll give mine a cut. And then pick up a portion, or just spread out. Actually, let's just do it nice and easy. Just take the whole deck and just spread it out like this on camera so I can see a whole bunch of cards there. And bring them in close. I'm going to remember one card in there. All right, Sonny, close your cards up. Close your cards up. Don't worry, Wagon Breath. We'll get to you in a moment. Just hold on to your cards. Sonny, hold
Thank
on to your
you.
cards. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spread out a bunch of cards here. And just remember one of them. Just remember one card for me, Sonny. You got one?
Yep.
Got one? Okay. And I'll square them up like this. And then could you just take your cards, hold them like this, and we'll do this on impulse. Just cut some cards to the table in front of you, okay? And just hold the rest in your hand like this, kind of over them, from the top, like this, like this, from the top. Yeah, there you go. Hold them right like there. Keep them in frame. What I'm going to do, so you did that unconsciously. I'm going to do this consciously. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to put a card in a specific spot here. I'm going to do, yeah, that. I'm going to do that. Okay. Sonny, let's keep our cards in frame. Be honest. For the first time, say out loud the card that you are concentrating on.
The 8 of hearts.
8 of hearts? Take a look. I said I put it back in a very specific spot. Dave said we're going to cast a spell. We're going to spell that card. Look. E-I-G-H-T spells 8. O-F spells of. H-E-A-R-T-S. And we have landed on one card. Now, I'm keeping this here. Sonny, I want you to keep your cards in between like this. Put them between your hands. We ended up on one card for me. You said 8 of hearts, yes?
Yes, sir.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing if I had done that. That would have been incredible. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna cut as well, just like you did, and let's see how we did from where we cut. There's your card. Now here's the thing. You cut to this card because you cut to this card on bottom. You've kept it between your hands. I thought of the 9 of diamonds. Just hold your cards up. Let's see how you did.
No!
And diamonds,
No!
guys.
You got it. You got it.
That's it.
So
That is so wrong.
Wagon Breath, keep shuffling your cards. I'm going to put my cards away into the box here. I'm going to turn one card over here. All right. Wagon Breath, I'm going to keep my cards in frame. Now, for the people listening, I've got a deck of cards in frame, and it's in the box. You've got a deck out of the box. I want you to split the deck into 2 halves and hold 1 half in each hand. Okay? And put them on screen so that we can see them. Kind of hold them up, 1 in each hand. All right?
Okay.
All right? And, okay.
Like this way, right?
Yeah, perfect. We'll start with, those are beautiful cards. Those are awesome cards.
Thank you.
Dave, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Which half do you want Wagon Breath to get rid of? The right hand or the left hand?
Right hand.
Okay, Wagon Breath, get rid of your right hand cards. Split the remaining cards into 2 halves. And Sonny, you do the same thing. Tell them which half to get rid of, the right hand or the left hand.
Go the left.
Left. Okay, get rid of the left hand. Okay. You probably have a fair amount. Split them once more. We'll get down to even fewer cards. All right. Sonny, again, which half is Wagon Breath getting rid of?
The right.
All right.
Right.
Now, for the audio-only listeners, Wagon Breath has been doing all this perfectly, and my deck has stayed in view the whole time in the box. Spread your cards out, Wagon Breath, so we can see. You should have a couple. You have a small handful of cards left. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you can see the cards. We can't. Right.
Correct.
Let's do this. Look those cards over, and it's up to you, Wagon Breath. Do you want to keep the red cards you have or the black cards you have?
I'm going to keep the red.
Okay, then get rid of all of the black cards. And for the first time, turn over all the red cards you have so we can see them on screen. So we're down to 3 cards. Oh, bring them over. Oh, we've got is that the 9 of diamonds again? Oh, 10 of diamonds. Okay, very close. Okay. So, Sonny, you get to choose which one of those 3 cards we're going to get rid of. We got the 10 of diamonds, the ace of diamonds, and the 2 of hearts. Which one are we getting rid of?
The 10 of diamonds.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty close to the 9 of diamonds. back to you, Wagon Breath. You got the Ace of Diamonds and the Two of Hearts in your hand. Now, before we began, I turned over one card in this deck, and it's facing the opposite way. This is your choice. You're going to set down either one of those cards. The one left on the screen will be the final choice. Now, you shuffled these cards. You divided them. Dave and Sonny eliminated them. Even if they were in on it, they couldn't know which halves you were getting rid of or where the cards were. None of that. Get rid of whichever card you want and hold the last remaining card up to the screen. It's your choice. Oh, almost. So you got rid of the Two of Hearts and the Ace of Diamonds is on screen. Where in the world are you? You don't have to give us your address, but like what area are you, Wagon Breath?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, you're in New Jersey. Okay. I have some good friends who live right in New Jersey. So it'd be weird if we knew them or we had mutual friends. Even if that were the case, that wouldn't tell me anything about the cards you had, how you mixed them, all that. As I said, I'm going to do this slowly on camera. As I said, all these cards are facing the same way, except for one. I'll go slowly. I'll leave these on screen so you can see they're all facing the same way, except for that one right there. That's the only card in the whole deck I turned over. You ended up with the Ace of Diamonds, and my card is also the Ace of Diamonds.
That's
awesome.
wild.
That is so
Decisions
wrong.
made in Canada, in New Jersey, in the Midwest, and we're all connected. There we go.
That is insane, man.
Bravo. Well done.
So let's wrap up this little card section with everyone getting their 10 cards. We can I'll leave it up to you, Dave, if you want to leave Wagon Breath and Sunny in the chat for this one. But this is something everyone can participate. You just need 10 cards. And again, they don't have to be playing cards. They can be Uno cards, tarot cards, even if you have business cards or note cards. Those will work well, but you will need a pen as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 cards. And everyone get your 10 cards and shuffle. While you're getting those, I'm going to hold this up. Actually, you might want to go full screen for the video listeners for this, Dave. I'm going to describe this tarot card. I've got the Magician card from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. If you're an audio-only listener, you can look this image up, or pretty much everyone knows what the Magician card looks like. Designed by Pamela Coleman Smith. Her friends called her Pixie. We're going to use this tarot card and the 10 cards in your hands for a ritual that will allow all of you to awaken the magician inside of you. Every single one of you who follow along with this are going to become a mystic yourselves. Everyone has your 10 cards. Shuffle up your 10 cards. Now, at this point, Dave, would you agree that there's no way I can know anything about the cards in anyone's hands?
I would agree with that.
I do know one thing. I know they all have 10 of them. So I don't even want to know that. So everyone get rid of one card. Now, or don't get rid of just one card. Get rid of at least 2. Make it a little harder. But at the same time, don't get rid of too many. You'll need at least like 4 cards left in your hand to work with, so this will still be impressive. But you have to tell me or anyone how many cards you're getting rid of. So everyone has a different number of cards, and I don't know what those number of cards are. Everyone can give their cards one more mix if they'd like. When you are done mixing, hold them face down in your hand and pick up the whole packet and look at the bottom card and remember it. Seriously, don't forget it. If you're using business cards or note cards, take a pen or a pencil and draw an X on that bottom card. If you're just using tarot cards or Uno cards or playing cards, just remember what it is. Baseball cards, hold them face down in your hand. Now we're going to cast a spell over these cards. And by doing that, we're going to spell the word magician, just like at the bottom of this tarot card. So take your top card, move it to the bottom, and say M.
M.
That's the first letter of the word magician. Take the next card, move it to the bottom, and say A.
A.
Yep, everyone keep going.
G.
I.
C.
C.
I.
A.
And
N.
M.
Very good. We're going to do one more ritual. You'll notice the magician has one hand pointed towards the heaven, one hand pointed towards the earth. That's because he or she is saying as above, so below. The tarot card is kind of androgynous. It's not clear whether that person identifies as male, female, or neither. So we're all going to do this together, as above, so below. Take your top card. Don't look at it. Just deal it away and say as above.
As above.
Take the new top card, hold it, and place it to the bottom, and say "so below."
So below.
So below.
Do that again. As above,
As above.
so below, in your best magical voice.
So below.
Keep doing that until you're down to one card. Don't throw them all away. Make sure you have at least one card left. As above,
As above.
so below. As above,
below.
so below. As above. Hold that last card between your hands like this, and when you're done, say the most profound magic words you will ever say. Not abracadabra. That's a good one. It's a combination of Hebrew and Aramaic. It means I create as I speak. This phrase is older. I won't make you do the whole Aramaic. We'll just do the English translation. So everyone, when you're down to one card, don't look at it, hold it between your hands, and repeat after me. I give myself permission to be powerful.
I give
myself permission to be powerful.
It's kind of weird to say after the last 2 years. That means it's working. Take a look. You should now be holding your card in your hand.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds like you might have to censor one word there or something. That's everyone's card. That card is now your good luck charm. You may use it to go forward and continue to accomplish the impossible in your life.
That is insane.
And
forward.
And if you want to see if this works again, you can play the video back or play the podcast back. If you follow the ritual exactly, it will work in your own hands.
That is crazy.
Very cool.
That is crazy.
Do we have time for one more mind reading?
We have 8 minutes, so we got lots of time.
Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, this will be the that's normally what I would close with in a set like this. But let's do some challenge mind reading. So. I'm a big fan of horror movies. I watch about 31 horror movies every October. And one of my favorites is An American Werewolf in London. A great transformation, a great end scene where the werewolf runs rampant in Piccadilly Circus. I've never been to London. Wagon Breath, Sonny, have either of you ever been to London?
No.
Okay, we're going to take an imaginary trip, all right? The two of you are going to be potential victims of a werewolf in London. And I, the psychic detective, will have to try and find you before the werewolf does. Now, let's see here. I've got what it's called in London, the ABC of London. They call it the A to Z over there. Basically, it is a index of all the streets and then all the maps as well. You can see up in the corner, there's page numbers that are numbered. Can each of you see this okay, clearly on your end? It's not pixelated or anything?
I can see it okay, yeah.
It's not pixelated.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to do this with you, Wagon Breath. Do you want to say stop on a page, or do you want to name a number between 1 and 99 and I flip to that map? It's up to you.
Number 33.
Okay, number 33. Okay, I'm going to bring this up on screen. You can see the numbers as they go by, and you can see the streets. The maps are all different as we go through, obviously. Is that? Yep, there we go. Okay. Now, Sonny, you can actually close your eyes for this because you're not going to think of a street on this page just yet. I'm going to hold it up for you, Wagon Breath. Let me know, and people watching this can see there's a couple dozen different streets there, probably a couple hundred. Could you just remember one? It can be a large highway, a small side street. It does not matter. Just remember one street. Do not say it, Wagon Breath. Do you have a street in mind?
I do. Yep.
Okay. And again, if you'd set a different page, we of course have different maps. You can see they're all different. You're thinking of a real street in London. That's the only thing we know of for right now. I'm big, so if you could bring me back real quick. Dave. So Wagon Breath, you're thinking of a real street in London. Sonny, you're going to make up a street. You're going to think of an imaginary street in London. Now, that sounds complicated or difficult, but it's actually not. The best way to do this is to think of a couple old streets that maybe you've lived on or friends have lived on and change them up. Or you can now you're in a shop and there's a big toolbox behind you. You could look around at something that's off camera and think of deck of cards, street, or, pencil cup street or something like that. Something really obscure if you want. Just don't pick anything that would be obvious on screen, because if you pick toolbox or whatever, that's not going to. So you can just completely make up a street. After all streets are made up. Do you have a made-up street in your mind, Sonny?
Made up street would be a good
Cherry
Blossom Way.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. That's okay.
Come up with a new one.
I know a little bit how you think now. That's great. Come up with a different street. Completely random.
I got it.
Okay, so we've got one. So we've got a real street in London and an imaginary street in London. Imagine it's a foggy night, a full moon, and you're standing on a street corner and you look up, and on the street sign, you see this sign. I've got a pen and I've got 2 of my business cards. I'm going to hold them up. You can see I haven't written anything on them yet. I'm going to keep these in frame from here on out. Let's start with you, Sonny. I want you to look up and look at the letters in the street name and everything. Now, real quick, just to show that, because sometimes people think I narrow this down with letters and such. Think of just let's do this with you real quick, Wagon Breath. Just think of the first letter of your street name. Don't say it. Just think of the first letter of your street name. Got it? Dave, name a letter in the alphabet. Name it.
Q.
Q? Wagon Breath, what letter does your street start with?
I thought it was a Q, isn't it?
Seriously?
I thought so.
Did Dave seriously just land it? Dude, okay, we're connected. All right, let's see if you can do it for Sonny. Name another letter. Name another letter for Sonny. Dave, let's see if you can do 2 for 2.
C.
Sonny, yes or no? Does your letter does your street?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It starts with a C. I'm going to say you went with an actual street, too. You didn't go for, like, lane or way. This is something street, correct?
Yeah.
And there's an E in it as well, correct?
Which one?
I thought that might have been from you, Wagon Breath. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go with this for you, then, Sonny. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with this. Okay, I'm gonna leave this in frame. I'm gonna put it behind the other one, so you can't see it, but I can't change my mind. Okay, Sonny, you can tell us what street did you think of?
Clayton Foggy Street.
Okay, is that 2 words or 1 word?
It would be 2. It's Clayton Foggy Street.
Okay, I kind of got that one. Okay, Wagon Breath, think of yours. Interesting. Yours has like a 2-part as well to it, correct?
Yeah,
it's not a street. I'm gonna say this is something way. Is that correct? Oh, interesting. It's not a. I'm just gonna write down what I got here. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna go with. Okay. I guess that could be 1 word. I'm not sure. Okay. Again, I'll leave these in frame. Just once more, real quick, Sonny. I'll leave these in frame. Just again, yours was Clayton Foggy Street, and it was 2 words, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wagon Breath, you can tell us what street were you thinking of?
It was Queenstone Road.
Queenstone Road. Okay. I was a little off. Because I was getting Queens Park Way. And again, like I said with you, Sonny, I was a little off with yours. I got Clayton Foggy Street, but it was 1 word. So I got pretty close with each of those.
The Clayton Foggy Street, the real name of it is Clayton Way.
Oh, so interesting. Okay, so that's where I was getting that from. Okay, that's what made it confusing. Well, hey, I'd say that would be close enough for the psychic detective to save you from the werewolf before he gets you. So congratulations, we got it. Thank you so much.
That is incredible.
Yes, it is.
Incredible.
Whew.
And Joe, I
Wonderful.
hope you have more because we'll.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
All right. We say thank you to Wagon Breath and thank you to Sonny
Yes,
from our
thank you each of
audience
you
on
for
YouTube.
doing that. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
And
Thank you, guys.
JoeDiamondLive.com is the website as we
Yes.
continue on here on Spaced Out Radio. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. It's Halloween magic. Joe Diamond is our guest. I love this guy. Love this guy. He just makes it so much fun to be here. He's blown away myself as well as our two guests from our audience on YouTube, Sonny and Wagon Breath. That is always a good time. Halloween hauntings, paranormal stories, and of course, the magic of the season. That is MAGICK for tonight and tonight only. Spaced Out Radio continues with Joe Diamond right after this on the mighty SOR. Come on back. Yeah. That
All
was
right.
awesome.
That was amazing.
I kind of want to see my page again.
Let's see here. There's let's see here. It was 33 you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was yep, there it is. It's it goes, you can see it goes right through there with Queenstone Way, or Queenstone Street. And then then there's
Street?
Gladstone Way. So close. So yeah, so Clayton Foggy Way. That sounds like like something from the UK. Like you really went. That was great. That was perfect.
Yes, it was.
Now, what'd you say before? Was it like Cherry Valley or something?
Yeah, Cherry Blossom.
Oh, Cherry Blossom.
Cherry
Okay,
Blossom.
a street near where I grew up was Cherry Valley Road. So I was starting to get freaked out. Like, oh my god, he knows where I live too.
I grew up on Cherry Avenue, so I was just.
Oh,
picking it.
perfect. There you go.
All right. We're going to say goodnight to Sonny and Wagon Breath.
Yes, thank you,
so
both
much,
of you.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'll remove you guys here. And you guys can go back into the chat room and have some fun with us. And Joe, do we want to add more people or do you want to take a break?
Let's take a break. We can. I'll tell you what. If people is in the chat, we can do this on the air. One of the things we can do for everyone is we can do give them a sneak peek of the virtual show and show everyone how we can use a pendulum to do a seance in their homes. So if people want to get a pendulum, or it can be just a string with a piece of weight at the end of it. I love how you just instantly were like, "Oh, I know, I've got one."
I
even
do
if
have
it's just
some around
headphone.
here. I just can't remember where I put them.
That's okay. Literally, someone at one of my last virtual shows just used their shoe. They dangled their shoe by the shoestring, and that worked. That worked as well. But yeah, if you've got like a piece of jewelry, you can hang that, or a necklace, you can hang that from a cable or charger, some kind. You don't need a fancy pendulum like this, and we'll do. And you'll need a pen and a piece of paper for some of that as well.
Mine are upstairs. Damn it.
So,
Let's see what we got here. See if we can make something happen here. Oh, yeah, I can use this. Perfect.
yeah, someone's saying like a bolt on the end of a string. Carol's asking what kind of shenanigans is this. We can say this on the air too. That said, if anyone specifically for your listeners, Dave, if they go to JoeDiamondLive.com/Halloween, if they want to see the virtual show Halloween night, if they use promo code Spaced Out Radio Halloween for checkout, they'll get half off their tickets.
Wonderful.
So if they want to use that, so we can do that as well.
Magnus for Magnuson, welcome back. All right.
Actually, let me just triple check that is. Yes, it's all good.
405ers, stay safe, man. If you got a tornado on the ground, make sure you get to the basement, man. Get to the basement. We're thinking of you. Let's push all our energy over towards wherever 405er lives and make sure that we send him some love and some protection. Jeez, we must have scared Wagon Breath right out of the chat room. She is gone. She is gone. We got about 90 seconds.
No worries. Perfect. Yep, I just double checked it. Yep, the code is working.
Nice.
So
nice. I like it. All right. We got that. We got about just over 1 minute here. I didn't hear you swear, Sonny. Just so you know, I think you went real silent right before you dropped the F-bomb. Oh, there she is. Spooky Morales says, when we have our SOR party in Vegas, you got to come because he's buying you a steak dinner, Joe.
Oh, sweet. When's that? When's that happening?
We're probably springtime. B. Hoff, what's happening? We were going to try and do it this year, but we just could not do it. Spooky, thank you so much for that awesome super chat, man. And thank you, Chris and Smithy and Wallet Moth. Really appreciate the super chats. It's a great way to support what we do on this show nightly. So thank you so much. Hi, Shar. How are you? Thank you for joining us. And we're going to get going here in 5 seconds. So get ready for Bumblefoot. Here we go. Hi, Mama Susan.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are in this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Just go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ghoulish. Ghoulish is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Check out our swag. Shirky Poo has the Newswire all updated. And, of course, follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight. Halloween Magic is the title as we rock it out with Joe Diamond. JoeDiamondLive.com is his website. You can check out one of his virtual shows, or if you're in his area of Wisconsin or Illinois, check out one of his live shows. Definitely worth it. Joe, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. And so my only virtual show for the public planned, as I said, is Halloween night. I've been doing them a lot for like company events and meetings and such, but just for you and just for your listeners, if they want to join us Halloween night, now the one ticket gets your whole screen, your whole household on, so it's already a deal. But if you use promo code Spaced Out Radio Halloween before checkout, you get half off your ticket if you want to join us Halloween night. Just go to JoeDiamondLive.com/Halloween, and that'll click on the virtual ticket link. We do have a couple in-person tickets if you are in the Midwest. We're doing a Halloween show and flashlight tour in person at the Dole Mansion. There's like 4. Friday night is sold out. There's like 3 or 4 left for Friday night. So if you are in the Midwest and want to see it live, feel free to grab that. I'm also doing weekly shows again. My shows at the Dole Mansion that are weekly are 13-person shows, so that way everyone who comes gets their mind read as a part of the show, and it's smaller and it's intimate, so we can keep going even when like bigger giant events haven't, Illinois is pretty much opened in some areas, but because this is extra intimate and less people, it's even more safe from that standpoint as well. So if you're in the Midwest, absolutely, but no matter where you are in the world, JoeDiamondLive.com/Halloween. If you want to join the virtual show, use promo code Spaced Out or Spaced Out Radio Halloween, all one word. Spaced Out Radio Halloween will get you your ticket half off. Because you're amazing, your listeners are amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much, buddy. All right, you got us to try and find something that we could use as a pendulum.
Yes. Let's give the podcast and radio listeners a chance. If you don't own a pendulum, you can easily make one by tying a string to a weight, like a bolt or a ring. If you've got a nice pocket watch on a string, you can use that. If you've got a nice pendulum, you can use that. Literally last night, for a virtual event, someone was just holding onto their shoe by the shoelace, and they used that as their own shoe as a pendulum, which was kind of cool. So we'll give people a chance to grab those for right now. We can do something. And again, you can play along with this both live and on the recording as well, too. So whether you're watching, the video or podcast live or after the fact, you can be involved with this as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So, did you have like 1 or 2 other quick questions? Let's do like 1 or 2 other questions to give everyone a chance listening live to grab those pendulums.
All right. All right. So with the magic that you are doing, you believe everybody has the ability to do this?
Yeah, there was an old, Joseph Dunninger, who was an American mentalist, and he was actually the most recognized voice on radio aside from the president in his day. Like, that's how famous he was in America. And he was a mind reader. He was a mentalist. And he used to jokingly say, yes, any 8-year-old can do what I do with about 30 years practice. And I think we all have our gifts. Just for example, this isn't a perfect analogy, but some people have a gift for performing. Some people have a gift for healing. Some people have a gift for intuition. Some people have a gift of mediumship, talking to spirits. I think of our gifts, I know my last name's Diamond, but I think of them as gemstones. And let's just say mine's a diamond. Let's say it's about the size of a baseball. But it might be underneath a whole bunch of rock and everything. And I really have to work at it and chip it away to make it as bright and shiny as I can. But no matter how much I work on it, I'm not going to be able to change the size of it. And no matter how much I polish my diamond, it's not going to look like your sapphire. I shouldn't worry about your sapphire just because it's bigger, smaller, more vibrant, or a different color. I should just focus on my own gift. If that makes sense. I know this isn't like the perfect analogy, from a scientific standpoint, but I think when it comes to us and our gifts, yes, I do believe that all of us have the potential to create the impossible in our lives by accessing our gifts, but I don't know if everyone can. Even as you saw in the last thing, mind reading is my specialty. We were pretty dang close, but we weren't 100% spot on with both those streets. But that's kind of the fun of it for me, is that you never know how it's going to be with different people and so on. But even when you work at it, no one's ever going to be perfect at it. Same way, you're not going to hit every time you step up to the plate, you're not going to hit a home run if you play baseball, But I think. Yes. So I think we each have our own skills. We have our own abilities. Not everyone necessarily could be an entertainer. Not everyone could be necessarily a healer, but I think everyone can have their own gifts and use it in their own way, to bring their own good to the world, and I think, a lot of us know what we're supposed to do, but we just don't always do it,
All right. So I think our audience will be pretty much ready now.
Yeah, let's do that. So set your pendulums down for just a moment because we do this in the virtual show, but we'll talk about it now. As much as I love doing shows in, again, the Dole Mansion and all these haunted locations, I don't believe you need to go to a haunted mansion or a spooky cemetery at night in order to have a paranormal experience. I believe you can have one sitting in your own home right now, listening or watching this program. And I do believe there's energies around us at all times. And there are some people who believe that there are some folks, and this kind of ties into what we were talking about, there are some folks who are more sensitive to these energies and presences than other people. So let's first off find out, and this will work with a large percentage of the Spaced Out Radio listenership, I'm sure, but let's find out how many people are sensitive to these energies. Everyone take your hands, clasp them together, extend your index fingers, and in a moment you're going to separate them about an inch. Now here's the rule. Don't pull them back any further. Keep them perfectly still. And just imagine that if there was so go ahead and do that for me now, Dave. Separate them about an inch. Keep them perfectly still. Don't pull them back any further. But just imagine that there's like a spiritual presence over you that can reach down and start pushing your fingertips together all the way until they touch. And if you take a look on camera and look, you'll see that those fingers are getting closer and closer together all the way until they touch. This is working great for you. I know it would work great for you. And I'm sure in a few moments, the people in the chat, yours are starting to touch. People in the chat, once your fingers touch together, start letting us know that this worked for you. I'm sure this is going to work with a lot of you out there. It may take longer for some than others. Yours went together very quickly, which shows that you're a very sensitive person to this stuff. So several people are starting to say in the chat. I won't. You can read what Advocate for Peace said, Scott, or Dave, if you want. We got a whole bunch of people doing it. Okay, so great. So we have a lot of sensitives in our group tonight. Now, again, something like a pendulum can heighten these skills and abilities. For anyone who hasn't used a pendulum before, they're in for a treat. Have you ever had anyone actually have listeners do pendulums on the show before, Dave?
We have but not for a long time.
Not for a long time. Okay. They've been used for a lot of different things. They can be used for spirit communication, meditation, lots of different things. So hold on to your pendulums, and everyone just imagines the pendulum of an old grandfather clock that can start to swing in a straight line, just like the pendulum of an old grandfather clock. And after a few moments, the pendulum will start to go. And Dave, yours is going pretty well because you're pretty experienced in this. We're going to do some different and interesting things that most people probably aren't familiar with a pendulum. Now imagine it's going in a circle, like the second hand of a clock. And you'll notice without moving your hand, it starts adjusting and starts going in a circle. And you can give your hand a break for this. For this next part of the experiment, this is all about calibrating the pendulum. Think about a direction in your mind. So you can think of side to side. You can think of out and back, a clockwise circle or counterclockwise circle. The only direction you're not allowed to think of is up and down. Because if you can pull that off, you can take my job. And I need this job. My wife has very good taste. So hold on to it and just think about the direction you want it to go in. And after a few moments, that pendulum will react. And even though you're not consciously moving your hand, it will start to go in the direction that you are merely thinking of. And then the really freaky part is if you change your mind and think of a different direction, it should adjust and start going in the new direction that you are thinking of. And again, everyone in the chat can start to say how this is working with them. So now, Dave, we're going to calibrate it. And this is how you do it. You hold on to it and you ask out loud, "Spirits, please show me yes." Ask it out loud. Go ahead.
Spirits, show me yes. Mine's very calibrated.
Yours is already calibrated, yeah. So this is more for people who don't have their pendulums calibrated. Mine's starting to go in a straight line for yes. And now if you ask, "Please show me no."
Show me no.
And, our pendulums are very calibrated, so they're going to go in a circle almost immediately. Now, here's the thing. We're all doing this at the same time, pretty dang close to Halloween, when the veil is thinnest. So now that our pendulums are calibrated, You can ask the spirits any yes or no questions you want. We'll start asking questions in a moment. That said, if anyone has anything happen, if the lights start to flicker in their home, if they hear something start to happen, let us know in the chat. Let us know if activity starts happening in your own home from this. But now we can start asking a question. So we can ask it, for example, and this will be a fun one for the podcast listeners to listen to and radio listeners to listen to, the ones who can't see us. We can ask, is Dave Scott wearing glasses? Everyone ask that. Is Dave Scott wearing glasses? And after a while, your pendulum will give you a positive or a negative response. And our pendulums are going yes, because you are, in fact, wearing glasses, Dave. Now let's ask, is Joe Diamond wearing glasses? And if we ask that, it can start to open up and open up into a circle. And that's no. So this shows that it is working. So now, this is where we're going to have some fun, Dave. Someone just said in the chat that their chicken bone just broke. Oh, man, that's amazing. So let's do this. People in the chat, these are questions we know the answers to. People in the chat, ask questions that you want Dave and I to ask with our pendulums, and you want other listeners to ask as well. Dave, you can read some of them out. I can read some of them out. Let's make the questions. The spirits we're talking with might not be doctors or lawyers, so don't ask any legal or medical questions. And let's keep it fun. Let's keep it light. No one ask, like, am I going to die in the next year or anything like that? Let's keep it fun. But yeah, we do have some people asking if this works on the same principle as the Ouija board. Yes, it does. I actually just did a video for the Modern Rogue YouTube channel about the Ouija board that will be coming out soon. So we can make this really fun now. So let's ask the spirits a question that I've always wanted to ask the question. So repeat after me, Dave. Is Elvis alive?
Is Elvis alive?
And our pendulums are starting to go. I'm getting a circle. What are you getting, Dave?
I'm getting a circle. That's no.
Yeah, that's a no. Yeah. He's not living in a trailer with Andy Kaufman. Dang it. All right. So
B. Hoff has a question.
Okay, perfect.
Mr. Pendulum, is the Earth flat?
Is the Earth flat, Mr. Pendulum? Spirits of Spaced Out Radio. Yeah, we're getting a big old no for that on my end. All right, we proved it. We don't have to go to space. We've got our pendulums now. We've got it. That worked out perfectly. So let's go with this. We got let's see here. He could be in the afterlife. Yes. Paradox Fossil saying the Ouija takes more energy. Yes, this is easier to do with one person. Usually, yeah, the Ouija board, you do need a couple people to do this for. So let's see here. Howdy, Grandmasters. Okay, what questions do you have for the pendulums, Dave?
All right. Well, Beyond the Haunting has a question. Does the government have aliens in bunkers? I'm
getting yes. What are you getting?
I'm getting yes.
Okay, to be fair, they could be illegal aliens. Just to be fair. They, they weren't specific with the question. So,
well, if they were from outer space, they're illegal too. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We got that.
Kira has a question.
Okay.
Is Megalodon still living in the deep ocean?
It's Megalodon. I'm getting a yes.
I'm getting a yes.
Sweet. Someone's asking if you secretly eat breakfast for dinner. I do.
I do not.
You do not? Because it's not a secret.
I'm getting a no.
Awesome. Yeah, you're getting a no. So here's what's also really fun about this. If people, because I know I'm in the Spaced Out Radio group, if people want to video themselves using their different homemade pendulums, asking different questions, especially over this next week, this will be a lot of fun to see what different people post on Facebook. I'm at Joe Diamond Live on Instagram and all social media too. So if you do want to tag me in your questions, find out. In one of my virtual shows, a woman asked, if she was going to get the vaccine, and everyone's pendulum said yes, and literally the next day she got picked randomly. This was like in early spring when vaccines were still sparse, and she was able to get vaccinated the very next day after the pendulum said yes. So your mileage may vary. I can't promise, anything medical, but at the same time, I can promise that pendulums have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they're a very reliable way to communicate with your own unconscious and the energies around you. And again, some people say like we're consciously moving it or unconsciously moving. To me, that just means we're making a thought in our minds manifest in reality, and it's still just as amazing for sure. And by the way, if you're not getting any activity, that's okay too. It just means your house isn't haunted yet.
Yet. Yeah. Come to my house.
Has the activity been picking up this time of year?
No. No. You know what? My house has actually been pretty dead lately. No pun intended.
But
no, not I haven't had anything happen really around here recently. I did a few months ago have a ghost dog running around. He looked
interesting.
This ghost dog looked exactly like my German Shepherd, my black German Shepherd. And I saw him 3 times. And then the 4th time, I brought my dogs in, and I'm standing right by the door after I close the door for the dogs come inside. I close the door, and I hear scratching at my door outside, like, let me in.
Oh, man.
That was kind of eerie. Of eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But since then...
That's interesting.
Nothing really good. Nothing really good since then. No aliens.
That's
no
good,
nothing.
though. Like, I know it's been a while since then, but that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
I always wish, people, I make the joke in my shows, I'm not a medium, I'm a large, which is why I've used things like pendulums and other oracles, for that type of stuff. But I would love to be a pet medium. I would love to just see everyone's dogs and cats. And whenever Lindsay and I, my wife and I, go for walks and there's dogs, she's always like, "Can I pet your dog?" And it's adorable. We love animals, but our apartment doesn't allow them currently. So when we move out, it will be because we want a fur baby.
You know what I would suggest you do? And I did this with my guru, Pascal. I literally started using, we actually did an experiment. We did it 3 times, and it is the most amazing thing for what you see, is create an absolute pitch dark room where there is no natural or unnatural light coming in, to the point where you cannot see your hand in front of your face dark. What you end up seeing out of that was incredible. To this day, I still do not know how to explain it. We literally saw what looked like a galaxy form right between us and was spinning, and you would see these little orbs, these little sparks, all of a sudden shoot off, and spirits were coming around. And I remember my deceased dog was sitting right beside me, and it was amazing.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Yeah, I do some stuff where I actually blindfold myself with duct tape so I can get complete darkness, so that I can, sure, it's amazing that I know this stuff because it's impossible for me to see. But the real reason I do stuff like that is so that I can turn off that sense and just go with whatever's coming to me and create that in front of a group full of people. And it is amazing the things that just come to me in those moments where it's I don't have an explanation for that. There was one time, so I'm blindfolded with duct tape. I tell people, I have one person go around, pick the 3 strangest objects that people can offer. So that way we don't just get like people's keys and phones and stuff. And I'm holding my hand over. It's like, I'm not a medium, but I'm getting the sense not that this belonged to someone who passed away, but this is someone. Like I'm getting the sense of someone. And it turned out it was a woman's necklace, but in it was a vial of her grandmother's ashes.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like, I had to tread lightly because, I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm Mr. Entertainer. I wanted to be respectful, but I also want her to know, like, look, this is what I'm getting from the object. I'm not getting a message from them. That's not my gift. But this has a lot of meaning to you, and I got to pick up on some other things. But that's something I would have never even been able to pick up on it, even if I could see the object.
Joe, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Joe Diamond, his website, Joe Diamond Live, magician, paranormal enthusiast, researcher, tour guide. This guy does it all. And when we come back, we're going to get into more stories, more action. Maybe we'll add more people. We don't know yet. That's up to Joe whether we want to do that. But it's looking good. JoeDiamondLive.com. You can check out his schedule, maybe catch him live somewhere in Wisconsin or Illinois. We got to get this guy a Vegas show. We'll be back on Spaced Out Radio right after this. All right, we're clear.
Cool.
Do we want to add more people?
I got something I planned for you because we haven't really talked a lot about dreams, and that's another thing that I've done, and I've got my something I got from a metaphysical shop years ago, a dream builder card. Do you remember your dreams?
Only when there's aliens.
Only when there's aliens. Okay, fair enough. All right. So we can try something dream related, or we can try we can try something else too.
Well, let's do dreams when we come back, and maybe in the final half hour we can bring people in, if you're cool with that.
Cool.
All right, Mr. Cowley, welcome back to the show. Oh, Mr. Cowley loves his spaced out radio. There we go. That's all I got so far. All right, let's see what else is going on here. All right. This has been a lot of fun so far, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been having a blast too.
Ready,
like this is so much fun. I love it here.
All right.
Let me grab something real quick.
Sure. Guys having fun out there in chat room land?
All right. Yeah, this will work.
Hi, Awesome Man Palmer. Welcome back. Tomorrow night on the show, Dan Warren from one of the most popular TikTok UFO channels is going to join us. We're going to talk some UFOs, UAP, news, players in the game. This guy does a great job. Great guy as well. That's who we're going to talk. Back into the UFO world tomorrow. Sweet Tony D, good morning to you in the United Kingdom. What are you hiding in there?
I'm just making sure it'll show up. Okay, I'll come back to that during the show. Just want to make sure you would be able to see it when I took it out.
We got 2 minutes.
Perfect. Sure.
All right. Yeah. Is that a pendulum that you have on your jacket there?
No, this is a planchette.
Or a planchette, I meant. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is
very
a planchette. Yep.
Well, here's an interesting. I'm a massage therapist, and one night I dreamt that I massaged a very tall being on a spacecraft. When I woke up, my shoulders were sore, as if I had been massaging for hours. I believe that. Last time I got taken, my entire body was killing me the next morning. I totally believe that. I'm interested in hearing that story, actually. Very interesting.
Yeah, that seems like I'll be honest, I'm not sure that was a dream. Like normally, like dreams are symbols and everything, and that sounds like a very literal experience.
Yes.
There's not much to interpret there.
Yes, I fully agree. Hey, I wanted to say a big thank you to Sonny, to Chris, to Smithy, and Wallet Moth for the amazing super chats. And it's a great way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. So thank you so much. And thank you to all the veterans tuning us in and everyone else. Hey, Gary the Dutchman is here. Gary the Dutchman. Remember, if you want to piss off a Dutchman, what you need to do is go to MightyMooseBeard.com, use promo code SOR 2019, and get your Mighty Moose beard oil. Ladies, it's great for your hair as well. No chemicals, all natural, made from Dutch hands. I know, he washes them beforehand, just so you don't get that Dutch on you. All right, but go to MightyMooseBeard.com and use promo code SOR 2019. Here we go. We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read up on Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our store for swag. And you got us on social media as well. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Joe Diamond is here. JoeDiamondLive.com is his website. He's an incredible magician. Boy, what was I thinking?
Magician, mind reader. Not a musician. I can't play an instrument to save my life.
No, but he can play a kazoo like nobody's business. Nobody's business.
I will rock that kazoo. And the triangle.
Find his schedule by going to JoeDiamondLive.com. I want to read a comment here. Body Technician in our YouTube chat says, I'm a massage therapist, and one night I dreamt that I massaged a very tall being on a spacecraft. When I woke up, my shoulders were sore as if I had been massaging for hours, but follows up with says, never been abducted. Oh, you got aliens, Body Technician. You got aliens. From those of us who have aliens, you got aliens. Definitely. And by the way, probably go to our store, get a You Got Aliens t-shirt, because you definitely got aliens right now. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. All right.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with aliens, but so I'll defer to Dave on that one.
For sure. I know. Body Technician's got aliens. Totally. Even Kira in our chat room believes Body Technician's got aliens. All right. What do you got for us, Joe Diamond, as you've been tripping us out all night long? You want to talk about dreams.
Yeah. So you said you really only dream about aliens. Just out of curiosity, like I've got like one of these. These are like, you get them in metaphysical shops. This is just a list of different dreams in like different colors and such. Have you have you dreamt, just yes or no, you don't have to say what it is. Have you dreamt about any of these topics? Some of them repeat in different colors and such.
Let me see what those are.
Yeah,
Money
so
falling.
we got a whole bunch.
Okay, I'll read them out. Money, falling, animals, mountains, water, demons, death, hair. Well, I love my hair. Let's see.
Yeah.
Falling mountains, teeth, hair, running, nudity, food, demons, sex, money, teeth, hair, flying.
Or demon sex. That works.
Exactly. I can't read the red ones, though.
The red ones are marriage, water, nudity, mountain, sex, money, teeth, hair. So some of them repeat in different colors and such. Because some people, the reason they're different colors is because some people only dream in black and white, and the colors can tell us different things about them and such. Have you ever? Don't you have to say what it is? But have you dreamt about one of these topics, Dave?
I think we all have.
You all have. Okay, all right. Just think of one dream that one of those words or topics conjures up in your mind. Don't say it. Just let me know when you got it.
Got it.
Okay, now here's how I read the dream. So we're going to go on the other side. Let's just focus on the white letters. You don't have to read them out loud. Just read them to yourself and just say yes or no if your dream is in that color.
No.
Is it in the white color? Yes or no?
It is not in the white color. No.
Okay. So this is a dream then that you have visualized in color, not black and white, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How about the yellow words? Look over the yellow words.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes, it is in yellow.
Okay. And how about green?
Green. Yes, it is in green.
It is green. And red.
No, it is not in red.
Okay, so yellow and green, this is probably something to do with, those are very natural colors, the sun, growth, those kinds of things. Let's do the other side too, just once more, just to see. On the yellow column on this side or the white column on this side, is it in there?
Yes.
It is. Okay. All right. So this is something that's probably natural, but not fully organic, I think, if that probably makes sense then. Okay. How about the yellow column?
Not in yellow.
Not in yellow. And how about green?
Yes to green.
Yes to green. And finally, red. Have you been able to zoom in on that and see it better?
Yes, it is in red. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's not in green. Yes, it is in red.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Perfect. So it's there. So if that's the case, then this is something. So white is light and red is, danger, death. So life and death. So this can be very likely a dream where that is both positive, but could also be very negative depending on the perspective. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I can just see me. Let's bring you back. Okay, so we've got those colors. So this is something that's natural, something that has maybe not organic like green grass and leaves, but definitely there's a flow to this, and definitely I would say probably the dream is about you interrupting the flow. Does that kind of make sense?
It interrupted me, not the flow.
Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. So you interrupted the flow versus or the flow interrupted you rather than vice versa. Okay, so this is just what I'm getting. It's just kind of, this is gonna sound strange, but look right at your camera. Don't look at the screen. I know that's tough for this, but look right at this. Okay, I'm gonna say, I know you're up at the camera, but I'm gonna say you're looking up. I'm getting the sense that you're kind of overwhelmed. There's things that are kind of like, I think in the dream probably you are looking up as well, correct? Like you're trying to, like this motion kind of makes sense, yes?
Yes.
Like, okay, it's a little, I'm going to say you probably had this dream at a very chaotic time in your life too. There were things that were going with the flow, but then like literally once it got interrupted, it was this is almost feeling like a flood, like things were going good, but then you just suddenly got overwhelmed. Is that making sense?
You're a little off.
I'm a little off. Okay, thanks for being honest with me. Okay. I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting, and you can tell me how close I am. Okay. I don't know if this is symbolic or if this is what the dream actually is, but I'm getting the sense of, this wasn't one of the words on there, but I'm getting the sense of like almost like drowning, like I'm trying to swim and trying to tread water, but it's just kind of like throwing me all over the way. That's kind of what I'm feeling. How's that matching up with your dream?
You're close in the water. You're close.
Close in the water. Okay, what's going on here?
I'll tell you, this is the most freakiest dream I've ever had.
Okay.
And I was dead, but I was still in my body. And I was at a lake, and for some reason, I remember people throwing me into the lake. And then,
so that's where all like it was close to the water, but that's where the swaying was coming from then. Okay.
And then I started to sink. The problem was, I was trying to breathe. I was trying to get back to the surface, but my mind had to keep reminding myself that I was dead. But I couldn't leave the body. So here I am, as you said, looking up. I was watching myself sink. So in my eyes, here I am watching as the brightness from the sun going through the water gets darker and darker and darker and darker and darker until interesting.
So you literally were getting overflow. Okay, interesting. So It is funny how those kind of matched up then. So I would say this meant that this was a point in your life where you felt like you were not in control of everything. Other people were literally taking control over your life, and you didn't feel like you had very much of a say in it this happened. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Since then,
I don't know what the hell it was, but all I remember was laying on the bottom of this lake, about 30, 40 feet down, maybe 50.
Wow.
And here I am staring up at my eyes saying, oh my God, I'm trying to breathe. I can't breathe. I can't move my arms, can't move my legs. And I'm sitting here in my body looking up at the light, and I see fish in the background swimming, thinking,
oh, wow. So the fish are interesting. If the fish are there once you got there, I think the fish are the reminder, is like the literal sense of life. Like, yes, you probably felt very much at like your wit's end here, like this was the end, but that was a sense of life and growth. Like even out of that darkest place, you were able to get yourself out of it and come back to this. So
no. I'll just quickly finish this.
No, I'm saying what the dream means.
Maybe
for where you were in your life at that point.
All I remember is thinking, son of a gun, these fish are going to start nibbling at me, am I stuck here forever? Like, am I literally going to be sitting here staring up at because I could still see the brightness of the sun at the top of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't speak, I can't breathe, I can't move. My arms are stuck, my legs are stuck because you're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm lying there, man, and I'm like, this is it. This is where don't I get to leave? Like, what about leaving? All these ghosts get to hang around and go to other places. But I felt like I was going to be stuck there forever.
Yeah. So this was definitely a time in your life when you had this dream. This is definitely a time in your life where you felt stuck, where you where you needed like the slightest glimmer of hope to literally evolve from that tiny fish to get yourself back on the land and continue to grow. Yeah, do you keep a dream journal? Because I'd be curious, like, go back and see when you had that dream and compare to where you were in your life and see how much of this matched up.
I had it about 6-7 months ago.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. 6-7 months ago. I've never been more scared in my life. Like, I woke up and I was like, taking in deep breaths. Like, I'm alive. This is cool. Because that death really sucked. It really did.
Yeah. Yeah,
Didn't
absolutely.
like that. Didn't like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and usually dying in like with that, I mean, it's funny because you didn't die in the dream. You just felt it was that, you felt dead and you felt stuck. So I think that's the big symbol to take out of that. Sometimes, Freud said sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but I think in this case it is pretty literal. Like I think at like that 6-7 months ago, you probably felt really stuck in some areas and like you had no control over certain stuff, and it took a while for you to kind of get yourself out of that situation unconsciously, of course. I think, and I think you've definitely been able to do that. because I know you were talking about like all the changes you were going through 6 or 7 months ago. Last time I was on the show, it was a little bit about that. Yeah, Dave's subconscious likes to mess with him. Someone says in the chat too. Yeah, I think that's another.
That's Fedora John.
Yeah, perfect.
John doesn't think I like to have fun.
So now that we've tackled dreams, I want to do one other thing that I planned especially for you.
Okay,
Dave.
All right.
Something I planned especially for you. I've got some drawings here. Now, you asked me what I was putting in my pocket earlier.
Right.
I put a photograph in my jacket pocket right here. I'll take a little bit of it out just to show the people watching on the camera. But that's going to stay in my pocket till the very end. Okay, I want that there so you know what's there. These, I've got about 10 drawings of different paranormal phenomena and entities. These are different drawings that I've made. One's a crop circle. Another one's a ghost. I made all these drawings myself, by the way, Dave.
Beautiful artistry.
A grown man in his 30s has the artistic skill of a 9-year-old. That's a Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. The nest went right beneath the water in the loch for that drawing. The dragon looks like a dog with scales eating a fist that's on fire. I love that one. Vampire, UFO. The zombie is the self-portrait. I don't know if you can tell.
Very nice.
We got an aura, werewolf. We were talking about werewolves earlier, a voodoo doll, and we're back to crop circle. So I have about 10 of these. I'm going to keep them in the order they're in and put them in the glass. Now, you might think certain people are drawn to certain types of these phenomena, and you'd be right. So to keep this completely random, I want you to name a number between 1 and 10, and I will take that many drawings out of the glass. So, Dave, you tell me, give me a number between 1 and 10.
5.
5. Okay. So I will take 5 out. We'll make it mysterious. That's 1. That is 2. See, I'm taking these off the top. That is 3. That is 4. And that is 5. That is the 5th one.
Okay.
And we ended up with, interesting, the UFO. Okay. Now I want you to see, if you were 6, what would you have gotten?
Vampire.
Vampire, yes. If we had gotten 7, we would have gotten the dragon, yes? 8 would have been the Loch Ness Monster and so on. But we ended up with the UFO. And I told you I put a photo in here at the very beginning, yes? And that photo is a perfect match of a UFO just for you. By the way, for this photo, that's the last time I saw my real family.
Oh,
there's a space out radio themed effect just for you.
Oh, Joe Diamond, you scare the hell out of me all the time. You scare the hell out of me all the time. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. Not gonna lie.
Like an exorcist, I scare the hell out of you.
Oh,
I'm not an exorcist. Don't call me for exorcisms.
That is just insane. I don't like it when you do that to me. So, damn it. Yeah, I'm having to bite my tongue again on you, because
so you don't swear on the air again.
that is pretty much it.
That's a secret. I probably shouldn't say this, but that's like a secret goal of mine now is to make you swear when I come back on.
And you know what the weird part about it is? I thought right at the beginning that if you were going to make me pick a card, I was actually going to go with crop circles or Bigfoot.
Nice.
And then number 5, obviously, was UFO, yep. And then you have a UFO picture in your pocket that shouldn't really be there. I hate you.
And yet it is.
I hate you.
And yet it is.
Wow. Wow. I'm not talking to you until my birthday show again in May. This is why we love them, people. This is why we love Joe Diamond here on the show. So keep on going here. All right, Joe, we got about 6.5 minutes before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Then at the next hour, we're going to bring some people in. Great. A lot of magic is sleight of hand. A lot of magic is trying to fool people on the eyes. But, do you use something different in order to try and get to people? Because a lot of the stuff you're doing is just so random that it shouldn't, it just seems like it shouldn't be there.
People holding cards on the other end. Like, I mean, you decided which cards to get rid of earlier and such. There's, on my end, there's a lot more psychology for sure. But there are times where I'm just taking an intuitive leap, like with the dream and the street names. Like, I'm trying to use my intuition to get to as close to it as possible. So there are similar techniques. I don't really. I love watching sleight of hand. I can't do it. I have tiny stubby hands. Like here, let me just. Where's here? Like I can't even like. My hand is about the size of a card. Like a card like barely fits in my hand, and I've got to so if I wanted to hide a card in my hand, like that wouldn't do me a lot of good. But at the same time, if I wanted to, get a read on someone, like, okay, what are they going to choose? What do I think they're going to go for? Those kinds of things that can be helpful. Sometimes I'm trusting my intuition. Sometimes I'm using more traditional magic or theatrical techniques. One example I give for this is I do a sideshow stunt where I hammer a nail into my nostril. It's called the human blockhead. A sword swallower taught it to me. And the nail doesn't collapse. It's not a trick, but I could just put the nail in my face and then pull it out and people be like, but using the hammer to apparently tap it in makes everyone go, and they feel it and they feel like it's being done to them, and it takes it to that other level of whereas if I were to just demonstrate the skill, it would be like, okay, that's fine, but by using the hammer, that elevates it and communicates a different or more impressive picture in people's minds, if that makes sense.
Very much so. Very much so. So for you, trusting your intuition, do you consider yourself psychic or a medium?
I don't think I'm any more psychic. I'm not, well, and again, going back to before, I'm not a medium. Mediums speak with the others, see spirits, communicate with spirits, and they communicate back. I think we all have our moments or our tendencies for sure. But I've never had like a dead loved one come through in like one of my shows, if that makes sense. But I've definitely had intuitive, like again, that thing before with like, picking up on that weird thing about the objects when I was blindfolded. I've definitely had stuff like that, but I don't think I'm any more psychic than you. I think a lot of us, we all have intuitions. We just don't always listen to them. How many times have, you heard someone go, "Oh, I'm not intuitive." Well, they say, "Well, when was the last time you trusted your gut?" Well, my gut told me to do this, but I ended up going that way. It's like, well, if you had just gone with what your gut said and not done that extra step, it would have been fine,
Yeah, I was almost killed. I call it that little voice, I call it the soul voice that sits there. And
that's a great way of putting it.
And that's the little voice that you hear in your back of your head that you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be in this situation. You should be, And the last time I didn't listen to that voice, I had a brand new ATV, that I loved, and I hadn't ridden all winter, and I wanted to go for a ride, and I went for the entire way up to the mountain that I was meeting these two guys who I knew. I wouldn't call them friends. I'd call them more riding acquaintances. And I just could not wait to get out. My best friend who I normally rode with, he couldn't make it that weekend. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go riding. And the entire 90-minute drive up to the mountain, that little voice kept on telling me, do not ride today. Turn around, go home. Turn around, go home. Do not ride today. 15 minutes into the ride, at about 5 miles an hour, my tire hits this rock, and it jolted me enough to hit the gas on my ATV, and I went into a washout up the other side.
Wow.
Bike falls on top of me and ends up rolling down the mountain about 200 feet. And I was fine. Nothing happened to me. My ATV destroyed.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah. All because I didn't listen to that little voice. So.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very powerful thing, that soul voice. Very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I think, and I've noticed that with me too. The more I try to like analyze something or think about like why I'm getting this or like play Sherlock Holmes and try and psychoanalyze someone, the more off I get. I've noticed the more I just trust my gut and go with it. I find that pays off usually more.
Yeah, I don't know what we are going to do. Hey, do us a favor. We got about 40 seconds here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Tease us what you're going to do with our audience here in the next half hour.
If you come on, let's see here. Let's do a psychometry reading. If you've got a weird, unique object that you want to bring live on screen, bring it on, and I'll try to psychometrize it through the internet. I'll try and give you a reading on it.
Right on. This is one exciting show leading up to Halloween. JoeDiamondLive.com is Joe Diamond's website, and if you're in Wisconsin or you are in the state of Illinois, you can catch one of his live shows. Go to his website, once again, JoeDiamondLive.com, and we are going to highly suggest that you go enjoy his program. We're going to pick some guests from our audience in YouTube to join us. And then at the bottom of the hour, number 3, we're going to warm up the Magic 8 Ball, do some psychic readings through the 8 Ball when we return on Spaced Out Radio. How many people do you want, Joe?
Let's just get another 2 people with strange objects.
All right. So if you have a strange object that you can get, I'm going to put the code in. First 2 people to click on the link. We need 2 people to come join us. Okay. Grab a strange object that you don't know. Fap, you can grab your head because it's so strange and big. 2 people. Let's make it happen.
You got it. I have faith in you.
Let's click on it, people. There's the link right there. They even put it up. They're all scrambling to try and find something right now.
Yeah, that's...
I can't use the dog poo at the bottom of my shoe, you know.
No. Like, preferably an object that has some meaning to you and such. We can have some fun with this.
Come on, I need 2 people. I never open up the phones or the lines to you guys, and the minute I do, you guys don't even come on in. I need 2. 2 different people. Chad Smith, where are you? Oh, you're at work. You can't. That's funny. Hi, Carbine's right. How are you? I'll post the link again. No being shy, because when Lynn Wallington says, hey, call on in, you guys are like right there. I'm jealous right now. All right, there's Joshua coming on in. There's Joshua. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good. All right, we need one more. One more.
Got a pretty strange object for you.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Oh, well.
No, you cannot.
Pretty good, man.
You can't be your own weird object, Flippity.
If I could do that, I would never leave the house.
All right, we got 3 minutes. We need one person. Or 2.5 minutes. We need one person.
I have faith. I have faith in them.
Hey, Josh, you feel good that Chad Smith says, "Sup, Joshua"? You just got Chad.
How's it going, Chad?
You just got Chad Smith, man. You just got Chad Smith.
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him the other day on UFO Garage podcast. He's an awesome guy.
That's a nice lip blade you got growing there. Got a little mustache happening there.
Oh man, all I need to shave. Yeah.
All right, we got 90 seconds. I need one person. Come on in. Somebody. There we go. Here's Jamie.
All right, we got
what's up?
Oh, there's gorgeous Teresa too.
Hello.
Somebody.
That's me. That's my daughter and me.
There we go. Okay, I need you to turn your phone off, Teresa,
My phone.
because I'm getting some feedback.
There's gorgeous Teresa too. Hello.
Let me see if that's in real quick.
Oh, you're right.
All
I
right.
can hear them.
There we go. That's better.
I can hear him.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're set up here.
Better?
He wants to hear it.
All right, don't worry. You'll be able to hear us, Jamie. All right. There we go. That's better. Hey, Teresa, I need you to turn your speaker down just a little bit. Little bit. Hey, can we go with 3, Joe? Because I got Joe Monk who wants to come in, and he's got beautiful hair.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with it.
All
yeah.
right.
I don't have anything on. I can barely hear you.
All right. We have.
We go with Joe because I got Joe Monk who wants to come in and he's got beautiful hair.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with it.
Okay, where is your speaker, Teresa? All right. Who dropped? Joshua. Why did Joshua drop?
Josh dropped.
Okay, Teresa, I'm going to put you on mute for a second here. We'll work it that way. All right.
Okay, cool.
One sec,
right.
Joe, because we're coming back here in 10 seconds. Oh, pardon me.
Right.
We got one more minute. I apologize. This is our long break.
Oh, okay.
This is our long
Okay.
break.
Get that way. All right, cool. One
All right.
Joe, because we're coming back here in 10 seconds. Oh, pardon me. We got one more minute. I apologize. This is our long break.
All right. Teresa, where's your speaker? Do you have me on computer?
Oh, I think. What do you think?
All right, so we'll put Teresa on mute for right now. All right, here comes Joshua again. There you go. No leaving us, Josh. Don't leave us hanging, man. Oop to Joe's Maine. You've got aliens. Yeah, you guys are all good. It's coming from Teresa's end.
Okay.
So you can all hear it right there. Oh, she's getting headphones.
Perfect.
All right. Perfect.
All right.
And here we go, guys. Hold on.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, KPNL. All of our archives are free. You just go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ghoulish. Ghoulish is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read up on Shirky Poo's Newswire, and check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. Joe Diamond Live. Yes, we love Joe Diamond around here. Magician, mind reader, a man who plays many tricks on people. It tries to scare the daylights out of me each and every time he's on the show. JoeDiamondLive.com. Now, Joe, you're taking our audience through things here, and we have 3 members from our YouTube audience. We have Jamie, we have Joe, who is Monk, and we have Joshua here. So I'm going to unmute them so that way they can.
All right, perfect.
All right, go ahead.
Perfect. So we asked for people with objects. Whatever your object is, before you hold it up, if you need to get it ready, hold it up in a moment. But first, I need something now. I'll be honest with you. This is a genuine skill. It's known as psychometry. It literally means measuring of the soul. I'm taking my watch off, and I am going to take my wedding ring off for this because I don't want them to get in the way. But to give you an idea of a little bit of how this goes, I am just going to draw on my palm 2 simple geometric shapes, one inside the other. And I want to see everyone listening and everyone watching, just try to get a sense in your mind of what I drew. 2 simple geometric shapes, one inside the other, like a square inside something else. Don't pick square. I just said that. I am looking at it, and I'm sending it to all of you now, and I'm sending this on my hand. One of you might have gotten this reversed, but that's okay. I was projecting to all of you a circle with a triangle inside of it. If anyone got these 2 shapes, put your hand up real quick. Let's see if anyone in the show. Oh, a bunch of you. Oh, a lot of you. Okay, great. Let's start with you, Joshua. Hold up your object to the screen so all of us can see it. And everyone else, go like this. Rub your hands together. And when you separate them, you'll feel a little bit of energy going back and forth between your hands. So you can almost like shape it into a ball. Some people call this cheese. Some people do this with aura work. Joshua, do you have your object ready?
Yeah, real quick, the shape, that was what I was guessing that you were drawing your hand. Is that right?
Yeah, I had the circle and the triangle. Yeah, absolutely. So you got that. So hold your object up, and let's see here. We got hold it up in the camera. Okay, interesting. It's a little off screen. Looks like a can of tomato soup of some kind. All right, so everyone do this. It's a Chef Boyardee. So everyone rub your hands together. Everyone else. And even people watching on YouTube, particularly, point your hands at the screen like this. And the secret to this is not to filter. Hold the object up, Joshua. Even though we're separated by miles, sort of shoot that energy out. Okay. Here's the thing. Obviously, you probably haven't had this for years, but I think this particular brand of A, Chef Boyardee, and B, ravioli, there is a connection to you with this. I don't think you've ever not had this in your house. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's definitely correct.
Yeah, so, I mean, not that exact can, of course. Otherwise, I have a warning for you. The expiration date is long overdue. Although it might be coming up. I think you yourself, you're obviously a very boisterous person. You tend not to overthink things. You just go with what feels right. And I think that's why you like this so much. It connects you with childhood. It's something very simple. I also think you're the kind of person that doesn't like to overthink decisions. You like to have that stuff set up and locked in. And you like to have those things ready for you so you don't have to think about it down the line. That's all I'm getting right now, but here's what I want everyone else to do. People in the chat, if you picked up on anything, maybe the age he started having this, maybe something about the expiration date on that can, maybe how many cans he has. If you got any kind of psychic impressions, put them in the chat. Let us know. Let's see how many of you were accurate. And Joshua, are you okay with just giving us like a quick 20-second history of your relationship with Chef Boyardee and why you picked it for tonight?
Honestly, it was random, but what you said about the childhood thing, yeah, that's pretty spot on. The whole going with the flow and my intuition, yeah, it's spot on there too.
Great, awesome. Yeah. Awesome, thank you. So I'm glad. It looks like some people are just saying they want ravioli now in the chat. That's fine.
Yes, me too.
Monk or Jamie, do either of you have an object?
Yes.
Let's see yours, Monk. We'll do Jamie. We'll save yours for last. Monk, I know it's kind of dark, but hold your object up. Let's see. Ooh, what is that?
It's a Louisville Slugger bat.
I was gonna say, it's a bat. Okay, hold it up. Everyone, point your hands at the. Perfect. Oh my, that's terrifying. Yeah, you would survive in a horror movie with that. That slugger bat.
That's why I have it.
There you go.
My life is a horror movie.
Away. Okay, this is weird. You don't have to incriminate yourself if you don't want to, but I have to ask, have you used that for self-defense?
Yes.
I thought
Absolutely.
so. Okay. All right. I was picking up the DNA. I think the person you defended yourself against was a Sagittarius. I think this also. So here's the thing. I think you're the kind of person who isn't going to belabor the point. You're going to be very direct. I think yes, you're not afraid to use that, but also. I think you've used it to show people that you mean business, both in contexts like this that are fun, but also in more serious contexts. I think you've had to just hold the bat more than you've ever had to use it, for sure. One other thing I'll say is I think I'm going to go for this. I think I just got the image that you're going to get some good news this coming Friday. I don't know what it is. It's just going to be good news. It might be an email, might be a text message. Keep us updated. But I just got the image that Friday is going to be a day of good news for you. It might involve the bat. Maybe you'll find out it's worth a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe you'll just get a check in the mail. I don't know. But I'm getting the vibe that you're going to have some cool stuff for Friday. So keep us updated with that, okay?
Well, the good news might be that I can use the bat again.
Oh man, we're okay. We have to stop there. Otherwise, we're all a part of this now, Monk. Like we can't do that. We can't. All right. Thank you, though. Okay, for a game, you mean, right? For a game.
Yes.
Let's do this with Jamie's object. Is it Jamie who's holding the object, or is it? Yeah. Okay. Jamie, hold your object up. A teddy bear. Interesting. Did you change? Were you going to go with a different object, but then you went with this?
Yeah.
Interesting, because I think you thought this would have more meaning.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
we're down. I don't want to get
too... the ring of mine.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What I'm getting from the teddy bear, I'll be honest, I want to be careful how I phrase this because we're, this is being broadcast on the internet and such. I'm going to phrase this in a way that I think will make sense to you without overstepping, I hope. Basically, long and short, Jamie, your progress has been great. And not a lot of people have said it because they just haven't found the right opportunity, but other people have noticed. They're just looking for the right opportunity to say it. So, and I think especially after Halloween, they're going to start making a point of saying, you know what, I need to actually voice this and show this as well, because I haven't had the opportunity to show that I have noticed this. You've noticed it, and that's what's ultimately important. But I think more and more people are going to be encouraging for you for this. I'm also going to say that, Jamie, you would consider yourself to be intuitive as well? Is that correct?
Wait, what? Do you consider yourself to be intuitive? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with this. Let's go for this. Joshua and Monk, thank you so much. Dave, we're just going to do this with Jamie, if that's okay.
That's fine.
We're going to flip this. We're going to do one more object. The difference, though, Jamie, is it's going to be one of my objects, and we're going to see what you pick up off of it. Okay.
Okay.
So Dave, put me up on the big screen for this, so that way people will be able to see this. So the object is not this envelope; it's what's inside. I'm going to tell you the story about this, Jamie. Years ago, when I was like 14, 15, I went into a bookstore with my friends, and they dared me to do something that made me feel so guilty. They dared me to go into this bookstore, go to my favorite section. It was the mystery section. Pick a random book, tear a page out, fold it up, put it in my pocket, and walk out of the store. And I did, and they laughed, and I felt terrible. I felt so awful that when they all went home while I was waiting for my mom to come pick me up, I went back to the store to buy the book. So I went back in. It was a locally owned shop. An older guy owned it. I went to the mystery section, third aisle in, second shelf down, and the book was gone. Someone else had purchased it in the 45 minutes since I had torn the page out, which was unlucky or intuitive. I mean, we both were drawn to that book, obviously. So that page I've kept. It's become one of my most prized objects or meaningful object. Is folded up in this envelope, so it's well preserved. I'm going to hold this. You can see a little bit of it through there. I'm going to let it adjust the light. I'm going to leave this in frame for the rest of this, Jamie. Jamie, just like I did before, hold your hand. It looks like I might be muted.
No,
or
I
unmuted.
got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Everyone can hear me, okay? And we'll explain all this for the audio only listeners, but for the video listeners, I'm going to keep this envelope in full view the entire time. Jamie, I can't see you right now. Just verify. Are you pointing your hand at the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now I know it's unlikely that you've done something exactly like this before, and I don't expect you to get everything spot on. So I will help you just a little bit by helping you set the scene. Everyone else in the chat, just comment with a playing card, a value, and a suit. Do that while Jamie does this. Jamie, I want you to imagine you are outside an old-fashioned cinema, an old-fashioned movie theater, and you're about to rush inside, and you look up at the skies. Just tell me real quick, what's the weather doing?
Getting kind of like cloudy.
Cloudy,
like
okay.
Rain, but it's like
It's about to rain. Okay, perfect. Now you go inside, you buy your ticket, and what's the first color that comes to mind?
Red.
Red, okay. Now imagine you go inside and you see someone sitting all the way in the front row. Are you looking at this person from behind or the front?
Behind.
From behind, okay. So you're looking at them from behind. You see the rows of seats. What would you say you mentioned red before. Would you say that would probably be like the color of the chairs, I think?
Yeah. I was getting green, like a dark green.
Oh, you're getting dark green earlier, but then you got red. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. The person sitting in the chair, would you say they are male or female?
Male.
Male, okay. Roughly how old would you say the person is?
49, 50.
49, 50, okay. Move now so you can see the person from the front and tell me, are they wearing glasses?
Yes.
Okay, so they do wear glasses. Okay. Now turn towards the movie screen and imagine a 2-second clip of something speeding past the screen. It's not a movie you've seen before. I'm just looking for a general impression of what you see there. What happened in the clip?
I think like a car went through like a bunch of fog.
A car went through a bunch of fog, okay. Was it in color or black and white?
Black and white.
Black and white, okay. And just to clarify, was this person alone in the cinema?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Again, I'm leaving this envelope in frame. So just to recap, you said it was cloudy, like about to rain when you went in. You had a feeling of like a dark green, not a bright green, but more of like a dark, like maybe like almost like bluish green, would you say? Like one of those like dark, deep greens, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
It's like bluish green, not like bright lime green is what it sounded like you were saying, right? Okay. And then you went inside and you saw someone sitting alone in the front row. They were alone in the theater. You just said that. That's kind of weird. Someone sitting alone in the theater, but that's what you said you picked up on. That's fine. You said they were male, 49, 50-ish, right? You said they looked around that age. And you said that they do wear glasses. Yes?
Yeah.
And in the movie, you saw there was like a car speeding past the screen. It was kind of foggy and black.
Yeah, but now I'm thinking about it like again, and now I'm thinking of like a forest.
Oh, interesting. Okay, forest, that's fine. But that's okay. I'm really looking for what your initial responses were. Here's why. I'm going to leave this in frame. I'm going to remove the... come here, you. Don't get tangled, okay? I'm going to remove the thread, and you can see the book page in there, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else in there. I'm leaving this in frame. I'm going to let the camera adjust a little bit as I bring this up. And we're going to start from right here. I'm going to bring it in nice and close. You can see that right at the top of the page, it says, "Through the rain, I saw the lights of the cinema. The cold blue paint," so you're a little off on that, "of its aging facade echoing the sky." But you said it was a darker green, so that could explain, a cold blue paint. Having bought my ticket, I entered the theater. Here's where it becomes interesting. Right here, when the first paragraph starts, it says, "I stood at the back of the smoky screen room and looked down across the red velvet seats. Something was wrong. Where were all the people? The seats were all unoccupied except for one in the front row where a smartly dressed gentleman sat. Was this the man I was looking for? He certainly didn't look like the 50-something I saw on the picture. You said 49 closing in on 50. He looked much younger. Perhaps it was because his glasses now lay folded on top of his coat. And you mentioned that he wore glasses, right?" It goes on about the movie and so forth, and you will notice it doesn't say anything else about what the man looks like. On the back of the page, I asked everyone to mention a card because it mentions the Queen of Hearts twice in here. You'll notice it doesn't say anything else about that movie until the very end where it talks about what happened on the screen. I'll bring this in so you can say, "A vintage car shot across the screen like a bullet." So it's right there. You were talking about the vintage, older black and white car shooting across the screen. Right there. Jamie, I would say you have a future in psychometry. That was like 99% spot on. You crushed that. Great job. Promise to only use your powers for good. Everyone give Jamie a round of applause, virtually and in person. Thank you so much for your help with that.
That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Any questions, Jamie?
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm glad when I can get intuitive people who go off the charts.
You're awesome.
Absolutely,
Joe.
Thank you. You're awesome as well. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
What? Oh no.
That was fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know how you pull this off. I don't know how you pull this off, but wow.
Thank you.
Just bugs me.
Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. See, I now live in your brain forever now, Dave. That's the important thing.
Yes. Yes, you bug me. You bug me. You bug me. We've only got about 3.5 minutes. I want to say thank you to Joe and thank you to Jamie for coming on in. I'm going to let them go back to the listening area. And Joe, it's absolutely amazing what you do with the mind and what you do with people and your magic and around Halloween. Before we let you go, do you have a special Halloween story that you can tell us in 2 minutes?
Okay. So it's not particularly spooky, but if you want to sum up who I am as a person, it all goes back to age 4 when I was Batman for Halloween, and I was walking around. Now I remember being Batman, and I remember doing this, but I don't remember the end of this. This is what my mom claims happened at the end. We were walking trick-or-treating, and in my neighborhood, we had these really deep ditches with culverts in them. So it looked like the Tim Burton Batman movie. If you go on any amusement park rides that are themed around Batman, you're usually going into a culvert or something. So it looked a lot like that. And we're walking, and out of nowhere, I don't know why, I just dove into the ditch. I just dove in, and my mom was like, "What?" And I came crawling out. And she was like, I was Joey at the time, not Joe. She's like, "Joey, what were you doing?" And apparently, so she claims, I looked up at her and with all the seriousness of a 4-year-old went, "I'm Batman." And then kept walking to the next house and kept trick-or-treating.
That is amazing. See, up here in Canada, it's a little bit different because every Halloween, that's when it starts getting cold up here. My mom would always make me wear a coat. So so it would cover up my costume, and she'd be like, "Oh, well, people will still know who you are And Mom,
Yeah.
they can't see my costume. They can't see my costume. But
yeah,
I mean,
no, it snowed on Halloween here a couple years ago, and I felt
Same
bad
here.
for all the kids that were going to have to put a winter coat on. When I grew up, we had a lot of rainy Halloweens.
Here too.
So there were a lot of raincoats, but putting a winter coat on over your costume, it's soul crushing. Soul crushing.
It really is. And you know, I look at my children, and I've never made them wear a coat. It never made them wear a coat.
One of the best costumes I've ever seen, this woman was Pennywise, and she dressed her like 4-year-old kid up as Georgie with a yellow raincoat and a red helium balloon tied to his wrist. So she couldn't lose him in a crowd, and he wouldn't have to put a coat over his costume. It was the costume. I was like, you, man, you won Halloween. You are a genius.
Beautiful. Joe, tell everybody, we got 45 seconds left with you, where they can find your information.
JoeDiamondLive.com, at Joe Diamond Live on all social media. If you go to JoeDiamondLive.com/Halloween to see the virtual Mind Ring show Halloween night, you use the promo code Spaced Out Radio Halloween, all one word, to get half off your tickets. That's just for Spaced Out Radio listeners. We can give all this a try with you in person. I'll be doing some of the stuff you saw me do here tonight, as well as some other surprises.
Wonderful. Joe Diamond, we'll talk to you on my birthday show back in May, and we'll talk to you next May again for my birthday show. And
thank you, Dave.
Thanks for being a good friend for us and a good entertainer for our audience.
Thank you for being a good friend as well. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, my friend. Joe Diamond, everybody. Joe Diamond Live is his website. You definitely want to check him on out. Coming up next, I'm going to warm up the Magic 8 Ball. Let's get a little psychic here. Your questions in the audience coming up next. Make sure you type them in capital letters if you are in our chat room on YouTube. Joe Diamond, fantastic again, buddy.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, buddy.
Really, really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Really love you, man. And thank you so much again for being a great guest and friend of this show, man. And we appreciate everything that we do. And you're one of the best, dude. You're one of the best.
Hey, you're one of the best. This is one of the most fun shows to do. So I appreciate it. And again, thank you in all seriousness for coming to see the show. I know we're all busy, but you were one of the few hosts of a show that came to, a couple did, but you were one of the few hosts that did come and see the show, the virtual show back when it was running. So thank you for that. I'm planning on probably doing it again in the winter months since we're all stuck inside anyway. But we'll see how that goes as time goes on. But again, being able to connect from this great distance and be friends is truly magical.
Absolutely, buddy. All right, I will let you go. I got to prepare for the news as well. Take care, my friend.
Take care. Thank you, Dave.
We'll talk soon. Joe Diamond, everybody. How awesome is he? How awesome is he? What a fun show. Great entertainer. Gotta love him. Absolutely gotta love him. Oh, man. That's just, he blows me away every time. Blows me away every time. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I found him very entertaining. All right. And I'm just pulling up some stories here from Shirky Poo. Oh, Shirky Poo's news. Can't forget Shirky Poo's news. All right, I think we're good. All right, there we go. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Lazarus, how you doing? Terrible Times, good to see you. All right, almost time to put your questions up. How many Bigfoot have you clubbed or aliens have you clubbed with that bat there, Joe? That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. God, I love that guy. Hector in Mexico, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, that was entertaining. He's a good dude, man. Mixing up the Magic 8 Ball. Are you ready? No, you're not ready. Okay. Give you some more. In hypersleep. Oh, man. Don't forget, if you want to catch Joe's Halloween show, go to joediamondlive.com. You can use the promo code Spaced Out Radio Halloween, all one word, for it. All right, there we go. Just had to text him back. All right, we got about 1 minute here. I bet you that's a 36-ouncer, too. Joe looked like he was a heavy metal album cover there. Logan, hi and good night. Good night, gorgeous Kira. Good night, Ozzy Ange. All right, I want to say a big thank you to Sonny, Chris, Smithy, and Wallet Moth for the amazing super chats tonight. Always remember, it's a great way to support what we do on a nightly basis here on the show, so we really do appreciate everything that you guys do to help us on out. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the veterans who are tuning in tonight, and make sure you go check out our swag at spacedoutradio.com/shop. And of course, everyone, the regulars who are in our chat rooms, really appreciate you guys coming on in. I love you guys. You guys are so much fun. So here we go. Final half hour. Get ready. Here it comes. We're around a third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read up on Shirky Poo's Newswire, check out our swag. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. All right, it's that time once again. We bring in the Magic 8 Ball Psychic Readings. That's what we do around here. The Magic 8 Ball is never wrong, sometimes sarcastic, but we're going to get some audience questions going right off the bat. Let's start with Grandmaster here, who is asking, are the gray aliens the most powerful space commandos in the galaxy? All-knowing Magic 8 Ball? Well, let's find out. We're going to get right into aliens right off the bat here, and Magic 8 Ball says, Grandmaster, do not count on it. There are more powerful beings out there. How do we know? Well, the Magic 8 Ball told us. You got to get the humanoids in there. Don't forget the mantids, the reptilians, and everything in between. And who else do we got here? Well, we'll do a double shot of Grandmaster. Do the flying saucers operate on high voltage electrostatic fields, Magic 8 Ball? The answer is yes and beyond. This is how they're able to create their light speed warps and jump through loopholes and wormholes and every kind of hole to get right across the universe quicker than we could ever expect. Let's move on to Peter James. Oh, good question here. Does the Magic 8 Ball believe in the Magic 8 Ball? Oh, telling. Let's see. My sources say no. See? Sarcasm from the 8 Ball right there. The 8 Ball can't win in that question. Can't. Because if you go one way and you say, yes, I'm always right, then in the 8 Ball sounds a little cocky, a little arrogant. But if it says no, it gets a chuckle. I think the 8 Ball went for the humor there, to be blunt. All right, let's get to the next one. Lynn is asking, does Dave pay his Magic 8 Ball enough for all the work he does? Oh, I can just imagine this one. In hypersleep. So in other words, what the Magic 8 Ball is saying, no, Dave, that cheap Ukrainian, refuses to pay me. I just do this as a gig because I got a nice warm home in a beautiful studio here. Yeah, it's a fair trade. It really is. Mystics Walk is asking, Magic 8 Ball, are we going to have any huge disasters during the rest of the year? Magic 8 Ball says, you have my pity. Uh-oh. I wonder what's coming up. Is that volcano going to cause some major disruption? As I see it, yes. Look for that big volcano to erupt. I forget where it is. All right, Grandmaster again. Does NASA know which planet the aliens came from, Magic 8 Ball? Find out. Batteries are low. In other words, no, the Magic 8 Ball does not have an answer for that. Davey wants to ask Magic 8 Ball, can I go live with Dave Scott? The rent is huge here, just so you know. Not today, Sheriff. Not today. Well, that was pretty blunt, wasn't it? Guess you can't come live with me. All right, Beehav. Magic 8 Ball, do we all suffer cognitive dissonance when faced with the truth? You have my pity, Beehoff. That's because we all do. We all do. All right, Joe wants to know, does Teresa have the best hair in our chat room? All clear. I don't know what that means. Can we be more specific, Mr. Magic 8 Ball? Or Mrs. or non-binary? You may rely on it. Teresa has nicer hair than you, Joe. And me. And many others in our chat room. Sandra wants to know, does Joe have the most main in the chat room? Come on. Signals point to yes. Signals point to yes. Even after cutting off 8 inches of hair, Joe still has the longest hair of anybody in our chat room. Now, if Jessica Lee was here, I would say the answer would be no. But she's not here. So, all right. Mr. President wants to know, will La Palma landslide destroy the East Coast? Reply hazy, try again. Okay. Will La Palma landslide destroy the East Coast? Ask again later. So right now that would say the Magic 8 Ball saying, look, it's up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen yet at La Palma. But if we keep putting good, positive energy towards it, nothing's going to happen. All right. Zero Cool wants to know, after a big blow-up on Twitter by former Navy fighter pilot Alex Dietrich and Jeremy McGowan, who was a guest here about 2 weeks ago, they had a big blow-up on Twitter. It was ugly. Will they ever make up and be friends? The answer is, you may rely on it. I don't trust that answer. I really do not trust that answer. All right. Magic 8 Ball. Will we hit 14,000 subscribers by December 1st? Infinitely yes. Infinitely yes. So if you're listening to this show and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure you do. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, because we are here like 7 days a week. 5 days a week on terrestrial radio and digitally, and then 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday, where we are here on YouTube. All right. Chad is asking, yes, people, the Chad Smith, will Chad Smith merchandise outsell all the other merch in the Spaced Out Radio Store in 2022? Ask again later. Probably because it's 2021 and the Magic 8 Ball is not ready for 2022 questions yet. All right. Joe is asking, will Shirky Poo and her news ever come on SOR with Dave? We may need some live Shirky Poo one night. We may. The answer is all systems go. We're going to have to sneak her on. Maybe I'll make a phone call to her in the middle of the show and she'll forget because she won't have her glasses on. They'll be stuck in her beehive and where the other 8 pairs are. And she will literally decide to sneak on without even knowing that she's on the air. We'll try and pull that off. It'd be a good prank. All right, Grandmaster is asking, is the USA the head of the alien tech space race, Magic 8 Ball? And the answer is, ask again later. Magic 8 Ball really can't see into that right now. Let's go to Wes. Will Dave stream a show from inside an ET craft? Oh, I'd love to. Wouldn't that be fun? You'd have to hook up to Starlink, though. So first we'd have to literally pay the $600 to get Starlink hooked up to that ET craft. Elon Musk will like it. And then we'd have to go jaunting around the universe. Jaunting. Make sure we don't hit any satellites. Yeah, I think we could do that. We could stream with that. Magic 8 Ball says, ask again later. All right, let's go to Nicola. I don't understand why SOR doesn't have 100,000 subscribers. Trust me, me too. Me too. We need it. I'd love 100,000 subscribers. I'd put that YouTube trophy right on the wall so everybody could see. That'd be kind of cool. All right, Raven is Ryan asking, will the DNI, otherwise the Department of National Intelligence, shock us on November 10th? The answer is out of fuel, try later. In other words, no, they will not shock us. They're not going to give us crap. They're not going to give us squat. They're going to give us what they want to hear or they want to say and we to hear, which is nothing. I'm not holding my breath for November 10th. Really am not. All right. Joe, does the Magic 8 Ball have a girlfriend? Out of fuel, try again later. Otherwise, you hit a sensitive part, Joe. The 8 Ball is single and looking maybe a little desperate, but we'll figure it on out. Continuing on with answers from our Magic 8 Ball on Psychic Night here. Terry Brown, will Dave ever enjoy breakfast for dinner? Do you really want that answer? Out of fuel, try again later. Absolutely not. The Magic 8 Ball is siding with me on that one. Doesn't want to answer that one. Tired of that question each and every time. Why? Because literally nobody wants that. Nobody wants to eat breakfast for dinner. Nobody. Weirdos who do that. All right. Grandmaster is asking, Magic 8 Ball, will we have flying cars in 2024? Well, technically, we already do. There's just no real market for them yet. Everybody seems to build their own. We've had them since the 50s. Don't count on it. Don't count on it. No, they're not going to do that yet. They got to get everybody into the lithium-ion batteries first. It'll be impossible to recycle. Pleiadian Starseed comes into the chat room. I totally had breakfast for dinner tonight. LOL. Ha 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 ha. Wow. Just to drop that one, eh? Oh. The 8 Ball tries to escape. You can't escape yet. Show's not over. Thank you. All right. Next one. Let us go to, where is it here? Guitar Slinger. Magic 8 Ball. Are aliens listening to this show right now? The answer is, levels are positive. We got aliens. Yes, that doesn't surprise me. We totally have aliens. What happened there? What happened? Oh, okay. I thought I lost my radio feed there for a second. Sorry about that. All right. Let's get to another question. Chad Smith is asking, will SOR provide personal protection for Chad Smith against Bob Birkins, his personal stalker, on our chat room? The answer is, all systems go, Chad. We got you covered. Our wrenches are the toughest wrenches in YouTube. They will protect you. They will totally, totally protect you, man. Totally. You're safe. All right, moving on here. Let's go to Jules. Is the storm coming to be bad here? I think she's in, like, Arkansas. Are you in Arkansas? All right. The answer is, out of fuel, try later. In other words, no, it's not going to be as bad as anybody thinks. I mean, it may get a little wet, a little dreary, but no, nothing torrential. Peter James, Magic 8 Ball, will it be a bitter winter? Oh, Magic 8 Ball, you better come up with the right answer on this one, because I don't need a cold winter this year. The answer is, levels are positive. Following the Farmer's Almanac. Darn it. I don't want it to be a cold winter. I need to get new winter boots this year. All right. We are going to have to call it the night on the Magic 8 Ball. Let's get to the news, shall we? The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR News Wire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the Dutch. Yeah, a Dutch psychologist has said in an interview that he gave suicide powder to more than 100 people and that he was speaking out in an effort to provoke debate about the Netherlands' laws on assisted dying. 78-year-old Wim van Dijk said that he was unconcerned that he would be jailed over his actions and insisted that the issue needed to be aired. I am aware of the consequences of my story. I don't care, he says. I want the social unrest to become so great that the judiciary can no longer ignore it. I don't really care if they arrest me or put me in jail. I want something to happen. Dutch law stipulates that people can only be assisted to die by a doctor in response to a voluntary and well-considered request in context of unbearable suffering from which there is no prospect of improvement or alternative remedy. Van Dijk is a member of the cooperative Last Will Cooperative, which campaigns for more liberal legislation and offers advice to people who wish to end their lives. Prosecutors are already investigating the organization over alleged allegations that people attending these meetings have purchased a deadly drug known as Agent X, which claims that have been denied so far. Police arrested a 28-year-old man back in July on suspicion of selling suicide pills to hundreds of people. Prosecutors said at least 6 people died from the drug allegedly provided by the man, named only as Alex S., who is also a member of the cooperative. You know, playing God like that isn't cool. Really isn't cool. I don't like it. A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule is slated to take a group of professional astronauts to space this weekend, but first, they had to fix the toilet. Yep, can't go up in space with a broken toilet. So, they are fixing it up. Jarrett Isaacman, the commander and the financier of the Inspiration 4 mission, as it was called, says that an alarm went off during a mission, alerting the crew to an unforeseen problem with the toilet's fan. Yeah, the toilet's fan, do you really want to be stuck in a capsule when somebody drops a bomb and literally you're dying up there in the recycled air? Oh no, you don't want that. Yeah, the issue hasn't caused any serious problems for the Inspiration 4 crew, nor were there any instances of bodily fluids getting loose inside the capsule, but, no, that's dangerous. If they can't even put a porta potty up there, attach one to the outside of the rocket. Let them climb out, do a little bit of a spacewalk, and go from there. Here's a weird one. Officials in an Indian state, Tamil Nadu, seized 8 kilograms of ambergris, commonly known as whale poop, worth a little over $1 million. How is whale poop worth $1 million? And they arrested 2 people caught with the contraband. Ambergris is rare and highly valuable commodity that has been globally coveted by the perfume industry for hundreds of years, because apparently whale poop makes you smell better. We've seen these stories where fishermen communities have found ambergris, and it's completely changed their fortunes overnight, simply because they are in countries where it's legal to trade it. Sumanth Bindu Madhav says, no such luck for the Indian fishermen, no. While the scale of ambergris is legal in most European countries where it is classified as refuse, it is criminalized under India's wildlife protection laws. Good for them. Here we go. Let's get to the thought of the day. What makes you mad when you think of the cryptid community? Start off with Caden. You come across gatekeeping far too often. Mentors are even harder to come by when you're in the South. Gail, nothing. Cryptids are my favorites, and the people dedicated to studying or finding them are almost as wild as the cryptids. Marty, many believe that cryptids are strictly flesh and blood and ignore the spiritual, etheric aspects. Let's get to Alex. These idiots that don't want answers by refusing to listen to science modalities that can provide answers, experts that help in providing answers, or the idiots that think we should be looking for cryptids for free. So, basically, small minds, anti-reason. Ted, experts? We don't have a Sasquatch captive, so there are no experts. Alex again. Morons that say we don't know anything. That's just an opinion. We can't get the answer. These people should be removed from the field physically if we have to. Bobby, the debate of whether Dogman has red rocket or not? I don't get that. Nicole, that I haven't found the last unicorn yet. Eric, the amount of people that think they know everything or prepared or pretend to know everything. Deb, what I hate the most is that I'm getting a little too old to go looking for them. Catherine, zero proof. Michelle, the invalidation of people's experiences that don't fit the popularly accepted paradigm. Trish gets the final word. I guess it's all this talk to prove that it's already been found, but it goes nowhere. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Day. Thank you to Shirky Poo for the news. Everybody played along in the Magic 8 Ball with Joe Diamond and our guests for hanging on out. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone hanging on out in our chat rooms, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio.
I know you're out there somewhere.
Yes, this show is copyrighted by Spaced Out Radio, SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
Halloween Kills, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent, in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
Now that football season's here, it's time to put some serious thought into what you'll be ordering from Uber Eats. Whatever's on your game day menu this NFL season, Uber Eats has you covered. They'll deliver whatever you order quickly and just how you want it, so you can stay in the game. Tonight, I'll be eating Uber Eats, the official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Uber Eats is bringing you game day deals all season. Order now